You gotta have hot. Hot. That's what you gotta have. Hot.
Hot.
I forget what singer that is, but he sounds nothing
I was
like
going to say
that.
Ethel Merman, but that's not a he.
She was not in Damn Yankees, I don't believe. I'm thinking about the Damn Yankees. Very good play, very good musical. Anyway, it is 5:47. I'm Danny Bonaduce. This is KZOK. Good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Why you...
I'm racking my brain trying to think who that could be, and I hate that when you can't get there.
What?
Singing your song.
Oh, Damn Yankees. Ray Walston, I think, plays the devil.
Mr. Applegate.
Yeah, plays the devil in a great show, and he steals it. He's brilliant in it as the devil. So if you like Mr. Hand, Mr. Hand from
South Park?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh.
That's Ray Walston, I believe.
Ray Walston also played Mr. Applegate in Damn Yankees.
Oh, Deb, that's his name. Yeah, okay, cool.
Makes
He's the
now.
devil. It's a disguise, that guy. So anyway, good morning.
Good
Spoiler
morning.
alert.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I got
It's been
hot.
since 1955. It is not a spoiler, Paul. It is far older than you. So real quick, so yesterday, I don't know what the deal was, but this show is on. This show has super weird hours. There's technical reasons why, but there's other ways to go. We're on from approximately 5:45 every weekday morning till approximately 9:20 every weekday morning. Odd hours. Like most disc jockeys on 6 to 10, 5 to 9, whatever. But 5:45 to 9:22 or so, it seems weird to me.
Sometimes I shoot for 17. 9:17, and I don't know why.
What do you mean?
Not 20. I shoot for 17, ending sports at 9:17.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No, I did not. She's not very good at it.
Yeah, you're terrible at it.
Sometimes it's 14, sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 22.
Well, I didn't know. Do you want to go to 9:20? Paul and I can do things when you. I don't know what we
No,
would
I
do,
aim
Paul.
for
but-
17 on purpose.
We could sing Damn Yankee songs for sure.
Well, there's other Damn
Can
Yankees.
you
There's the one with
take
Ted
me
Nugent. There's that one.
high enough? That's Damn
It's
Yankees.
going to be a thing today.
Good morning to you.
Morning. Nice talking to you. So anyway, I was leaving here yesterday, and I just wanted to go right away. My wife had been out of town. Her plane, I'd been supposed to go pick her up once and or twice, breaking my rule about picking people up at the
Yeah.
airport.
Yeah.
And I dropped her off, too. But I ended up not doing it because the
Not
one
picking
I
her up because it kept changing?
kept changing. Finally, I said, when you get home, take it. So anyway, I leave here, and interesting because I wrote it down. I got out of here at 9:17. Well, and
Nailed it, Sarah.
I take
Good
yeah, nice
Bam.
job. I take the stairs for the same reason I park far away. I keep the body moving. You know, getting older, you gotta work a little harder to be this awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm walking towards the stairwell when our boss, Robert Dove, comes walking out of his side of the office building, and he looks right at me, looks at his watch, shakes his head, and walks away.
Wow.
And he said this to me once, and I should have just said no when he said the first part. He said, you know, don't I pay you a lot of money? I should have said, no, you really don't, to be honest with you. But instead I said, sure thing, boss, whatever. And he goes, and you're out of here at 9:30 in the morning. Huh, okay. I mean, it sounded like he was saying, so live with yourself. I mean, it was really an accusation I felt. So yesterday I beat the record by 13 minutes. 9:17, looks at his watch, shakes his head. And usually, here's a quiz for Paul. Usually if you want to talk to our big boss, what room should you go to?
The bathroom.
The
yeah.
bathroom. Guy won't stop. He must be proud. I'm like not that proud. I want out. You know, Robert Dove, he can just stand there, talk, flip his tie over his shoulders. I hope that's his tie. My goodness gracious, what is his tie?
I'm not sure he's always even in there using the restroom. I think he just goes into
Trolls for
chat.
conversation.
That's his office.
It doesn't surprise me a little bit. So you got to have heart. Brief, because I don't even know the situation. Get a call from my mom yesterday. She sounds just like my mom. Now, all calls from my mother, I think, are butt dialing. Not her actual butt. I don't know what part of her body she but there's some sort of weird thing where she thinks Amy is calling her. And what's happening, her phone is dialing Amy. And then she sees Amy on her phone later and says, oh, Amy called me. And then she calls back. But she's 100 and she's got a cell phone and she's answering texts and stuff. God bless her.
Yeah.
So usually the fact that it's my mom is not necessarily great news. I'm 100, something bad has happened. But more often than not, it's my sister saying, Mom's 100, something's bad has happened. But the last call like that from my sister was, hey, I have cancer. Something bad has happened. So now I got a 100-year-old mom and a cancer-riddled sister. What is up with you people? And what do you mean you people? I mean you people. So I talked to my mom, and she says, I don't know why I was going to make her an old Jewish mother. I'm in the hospital. My mom doesn't sound like that at all. And I said, I immediately, she goes, it's nothing, dear. I had a heart attack.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I was even, I think, a little stronger in my language. And I said, are you okay? She said, yeah, I'm just fine. They're looking at me, blah, 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 blah. And I said, do I need to come down there? And she said, no. And then I talked to my sister, and she said, no. And then she said, oh, they might be giving her a stint if they give her a stint. And I said, at the hospital? And she said, not funny now. And I said, you're wrong. Funny is always funny. Yeah. You're just not laughing. That was funny. So when we're done fighting about that, Mom's stint, she said, well, let's see if she has a stint, and then you have to come down. And I cannot say this, obviously, because, I have a good job, and they all know it. It's expensive. When I go to L.A., there's no good way to do it for a couple of days because of flights and things like that.
Yeah.
If you want to fly on the weekends, the best thing to do is go for the week. Fly out for Friday, spend the weekend, see my mom, do some stuff, broadcast the show, do whatever. Here's what I can say. That's very expensive. It's a hotel for a week. It's weird groceries and for a week. It's got to rent a car. It's got to be a couple of grand.
Sure.
Well, I got a job. I don't have an extra couple of grand, but I can't be the guy that doesn't show up. Anthony's the guy that doesn't show up. So
you actually love your mother and you want to be there for her, I'd imagine.
No.
Danny.
I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't know what I would do for her except show I would.
Yeah.
That's all, the whole point is to show I will be here. I mean, I'm not a medical guy. I don't know what I do. Although she's not going to be in the hospital. So be advised, if anything weirder happens, we're all going to Los Angeles to broadcast from my mom's house.
All right.
Which is cool because my mom's house was featured on Tiny Houses. So I think this little radio show
cozy.
will be. It's actually great. I could totally live in that house.
Yeah.
With all of us.
No, but I could live in that house. It's really neat. So, man, real quick.
Keep us updated, man. That's upsetting news about your mom.
You're right there, and she's 100 years old. Believe me, you're going to be the first well after the show. Yeah, this was last night.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Amy comes home from, I keep saying Sacramento, and she wasn't in Sacramento. She was in Oakland. And so I'm glad you're home, this and this. Now it's been going on forever. My texts are getting a little more raunchy and a little more funny. And it's like, when you get home, me and the cat have missed you. One of us is going to do this to you. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
I miss you. I'm going to do this to you. Man, when you get home, we're going to do this and this and this. And I won't even get mad if you fantasize that I'm Tim Curry. So I get a text back that says, why the hell would I fantasize that you're Tim Curry? And it's my brother, John.
Oh.
And this has been going on forever. He's a really good sport. He said, oh, don't worry about it. I, too, fantasize about Tim Curry.
Well, breaking news overnight, Amazon made a big announcement that they'll be raising its minimum wage to $15 for all U.S. employees. This will be all types of employees, full-time, part-time, seasonal, and temporary. There's been a lot of talk in the Seattle area about raising minimum wage, but around the country, it's $7.25.
Wow.
So some
I
of
did not know that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think most people do because there's been so much talk in Seattle about it going up to 15.
Right. So I thought it was in the ballpark of 9 or 10, even 11.
Yeah, I think the state minimum wage here in Washington is around 11.
Nationwide, it's around 7.
Yeah, the average.
Jeez Louise.
So where they have some of their centers, their what do you call it? The
fulfillment centers.
Fulfillment centers. Indiana, Pennsylvania, $7.25. Ohio, it's $8.30. Washington State does have the highest in the country at $11.50.
Dig us.
Yeah.
But Amazon said everybody will get $15 an hour. And the other surprising part about this statement is it goes into effect next month.
Right, so they go. You got to give it to Bezos on this one because normally I give it to Bezos. But normally I give it to Bezos for making money. Like you found another way to get my money, and I'm okay about it. I'm kind of happy about it.
Yeah.
That guy deserves accolades. He's taken my money, and I think it's neat. He's figured out faster, more efficient ways to take my money. But now, like, this cannot be a great business model, to be honest. And just a wave of the hand all the way down to temporary employees at $15 an hour.
Yeah, and so many employees.
It's so many employees. I'm sure the guy will be fine, but this is not a small thing to do.
No, and I guess part of the reason he did this was there's been a lot of criticism saying they are making like $1 trillion or something insane, and they're not paying their people livable wage. And he said, we heard our critics. We thought hard about what we wanted to do and decided we wanted to lead. So we're excited about this change. We encourage our competitors and other large employers to join us. And Amazon said this will benefit their more than 250,000 employees and then another 100,000 seasonal.
Wow, and he wants to lead. I heard a guy last night say, if you're not the lead sled dog, the view never changes. And I thought, well, that's a stupid pep talk. And then I figured out what it meant.
Yeah.
Oh, it's butts. You'll see butts for the rest of your life. I get it. I don't want to see butts. Let's move on up to that. I want to be the lead sled dog. Thank you.
Pretty incredible news, though, right?
Yeah, very, very, very.
And westbound I-90 was closed near Cleellum because of a major crash that involved 5 semi-trucks and 3 cars.
Today?
This was last night.
But we didn't report this yesterday. That was a different bunch of cars and
Yes.
trucks crashing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So yesterday wound up being 2 semis and a bunch of trucks. And a bunch of cars. This one is 5 semis and 3 cars.
Jeez.
One semi jackknifed, and then the others went off the road trying to avoid it. Thankfully, no serious injuries, but this, as you can imagine, caused a huge traffic headache. Now, Derek will keep you posted on commute this morning.
Thank you, Derek.
Thanks, thanks, Derek. It was because you screamed through the glass instead of
Right,
into the microphone. It took it a few seconds to get there.
For my good wishes to penetrate the soundproof booth.
That's right.
He's busy working on the traffic. Leave
That's
him
what he
alone.
does.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, a busy, busy man.
And yesterday, President Donald Trump awarded the Medal of Honor to a retired Army Staff Sergeant in recognition of his treatment and evacuation of fellow U.S. soldiers while taking fire from enemy combatants in Afghanistan. This is Ronald J. Schurer, who is a graduate of Rogers High School in Puyallup. He attended WSU, earned his bachelor's in business economics, served his country, and was awarded that medal, the Medal of Honor, yesterday by Trump.
We're in the Vietnam War, and there may be other wars, but Vietnam was the first war our soldiers admitted we don't want to be here. Like Second World War, they lined up and people quit their jobs, left their wives and kids. I'm going to go serve our country.
Yeah.
By Vietnam, people were going, what the hell am I doing here? And they had a thing called a $1 million wound. And that was any wound that went in and out and didn't hit any major important things. And some people were even convicted of giving it to themselves, the $1 million wound. That guy that just got the Medal of Honor? He got, in my opinion, 2 $1 million wounds. One banged a huge dent in his helmet. Imagine how lucky that guy is. And another one creased his shoulder and it just drew the tiniest bit of blood. And he got the Purple Heart for at least one of those.
Well, and, helped to save his fellow soldiers.
That's when he got shot.
Very heroic man. And some sad news we are finding out. Seahawks owner, Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen announced yesterday he is battling non-Hodgkin's lymphoma again. He was previously treated for the disease in 2009 and said he fought aggressively. He overcame it in 2009, and he is optimistic about this second round.
I didn't know that the super rich got cancer. I thought the super rich went, I suspect I have cancer. Let's cure cancer. Call Bezos. And collectively, I just don't think you have that much access to the super whammy cutting edge medicine at, not Fred Hutch. That's what it is. I always get confused with that. Fred Hutch seems like they're doing some amazing stuff. It seems like at least the super rich. And once you fix all of them, then you can fix us.
Well, and that's what he said too, is that he feels optimistic because there's been so many advances since 2009 when he was first diagnosed.
Yeah, they're doing weird cell work at Fred Meyer. I always say that. Oh, man, I got to go to Fred Meyer. They're great.
IO11, right?
Yeah, cancer cures.
And it is a highly treatable disease. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is a cancer that starts in white blood cells. He beat it the first time and is optimistic about it for the second time.
Well, in my world, the jury's out on whether you beat it the first time if you still have cancer or get cancer again. It's just that horrible ride of I've got cancer, I don't have cancer, oh, I have cancer. It's got to be so tough. There's not enough money in the world. Well, maybe there is, really. But you know what I mean? To live with that for that long.
It's tough. German prosecutors yesterday said they have arrested 6 people on suspicion they were planning a right-wing terrorist attack against immigrants. Officials say the men, all between 20 and 31, are part of a far-right organization named Revolution Chemnitz, after the East German city where attacks on immigrants happened over the summer. They said that in this city, immigrants attacked a German citizen, and now they have been plotting some sort of revenge, it would appear. They said these men belong to, this is their quote, the hooligan, skinhead, and neo-Nazi scene in the Chemnitz area.
Make a decision. Like, what are you? A hooligan's almost okay.
Yeah.
It's a guy who shows up at soccer games that I am not attending and causes all sorts of trouble because you're a soccer hooligan. That's not Nazi. They're never an okay Nazi.
No.
Like when you go up to a guy and you said, I'm a hooligan. You go, oh, you might be fun at parties. And the other guy says, well, I'm a Nazi. You're never fun. You're never invited to my party.
Now, these are some bad dudes. They were involved in attacks that used glass bottles, brass knuckles, and electric impulse devices to injure those they regarded as foreigners.
I believe that's a taser or stun gun.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just telling you what their quotes are. I have
Could be
no
a
idea
cattle
what
prod.
they've got. Oh,
Yeah,
could be a
but
cattle
they're
prod.
all,
Oof.
that's,
Yeah.
if you look on the label, and I've never seen the label of a cattle prod, that's what they are.
Well, they had planned an attack for tomorrow, which is a national holiday celebrating Germany's 1990 reunification.
You know, I'm a big proponent of the Second Amendment, but there's a bunch of Nazis that want to cause problems, and they have bottles and stun guns. There's an argument to be made for not letting lunatics have guns.
Right.
You know, over there,
Or
they ain't
even
got
stun guns.
Or even stun gun. Well, or even bottles, but I don't know how far you want to take it. Kaiser Paul.
Tough to take the bottles away from everybody.
Well, it's tough to take mine.
How about some good news in the news?
Love
Yeah.
that.
We do it right now. All right. That is some good news. Test your luck right now. Text that word to 200-200 for your chance to win.
Some people who could really earn that, who could really use that $1,000 are some who had bought tickets on Primera Air. Last night, they just shut the airline down. Now, this was a discount airliner. They did have flights to the United States, to Washington and New York, but they also flew from one of the London airports to vacation destinations.
Who owns
Spain.
them?
What?
Who are they?
Primera Air.
No, but I mean, where, like, is it an American airline?
Based
Is it
in
Spanish?
England.
In England.
Based in England. So they did have some flights to the United States, but mainly it was flights from Stansted, which is one of the London airports, and Birmingham. So they would go to D.C., Newark. They went to Toronto, but then the shorter ones, they were taking people to all the beautiful places in Greece and Italy. So people just going on vacation, discount airlines. Sort of like think of Frontier or Spirit. They just stopped flying last night, stranding people in their
Yikes.
destinations.
Yeah, people who had flown someplace and then couldn't get back.
Yes. And they, Primera Air, are not part of their version of the FAA. So the people who run their version of the FAA are not stepping in to help them. They are just stranded.
You can run an airline without being a member of the FAA?
Yeah, theirs is not called the FAA. It's forget the name of it right
And they're
now.
not members of it anyway, so it doesn't
No.
matter?
Yeah.
It seems crazy and dangerous.
Yeah, they said the British Airline Authority will not intervene. So I don't know how that works, that you don't have to be part of that big club. I would think if we had an American airline, they would all be part of the FAA rules and regs.
If they want to be a passenger airline, yes,
Wouldn't you
they
think?
would.
But so these people, if say you flew to Turkey or you flew to the beautiful coast of Italy and you went to the airport, you can't get home. They're not helping them.
I'd be
out.
mad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world to get tickets on another airline, sleep in an airport. We've all done it, but I'd be livid.
Yeah, you've shelled out your bucks
and-
for that ticket already.
I would be, yeah, but that's not enough. I mean, whatever I spent, if I spent $600 on a ticket and now I can't fix things, and my wife's sitting there going, "Honey, take care of this." I'm going, "Oh, I got this. Don't worry. I'm going to scare somebody into action around here." And then so you lose that fight, and then everybody sleeps in the airport. That's worth more than my $600. I think I want action. I want the nightlife. I've got to boogie.
The hard
that's
part,
different.
too, is that we all know from if you've gotten stuck somewhere before, getting a last-minute airline ticket is usually astronomical.
Super
Yeah.
expensive, absolutely.
So think again before flying a rando airline out of
Yeah, make sure
England.
that they're part of whatever British
Yeah, yeah.
air authority.
Make sure they're with the FAA.
In Louisiana, something super scary is happening. Turns out the Louisiana Department of Health and Hospitals have tested water in the Louisiana area, and that water, a portion of, tested positive for a brain-eating amoeba.
What?
Naegleria fowleri is an amoeba that is fatal if it enters a person's brain. They went and checked the water supply in a place called Bossier City and the Sligo water system. Again, this is Louisiana. And said, oh, yeah, there's a brain-eating amoeba in there.
Now, I thought the first guy that got it was surfing at what I found to be a pretty exceptional fake surf place.
Yeah, in
Did
Texas.
you see it?
Was it in Texas?
I don't remember what it was, but I remember going, I'm so not going to that water park
Yeah.
if they have brain-eating amoebas as one of their attractions. I'm saying no to that.
They did not put that in the brochure.
No, they don't tell you. What they tell you, well, everybody knows, a lot of pee. There's a ton of pee in this water, but brain-eating amoebas, I say nay.
This
Maybe
is the
nay, nay.
second or third one. There was one in Texas. I think there was one in New Jersey. And now they are testing the water here in Louisiana and say, oh, yeah, we've got it. We got some brain-eating amoeba in there.
So are they continuing to allow people to drink that water?
Well, they are trying to do a chlorine burn, which will be a 60-day process where they drink.
You can't drink these things. Or is that how you get them? Because I thought on this earwig thing that this guy got that killed him, I believe, in Texas at a surf park. But the fact is it went up his nose. So that's the way you get it. And swimming in it and showering, I guess.
Yeah, typically to get it into the brain, it's not drinking. That's not how the human body works. It does have to go in through the eye or the nose or the ears.
I don't like it, but I might like it a little better than that patutu that flies up your hoozits.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That swims up your hoozits and they can't go backwards.
Right.
They have to open your hoozits. Come on, dude. I don't like water sports that much. Yeah, let's do it. We'll just open my hoozits later. It'll be fun.
And police in Missouri have admitted they do not know the whereabouts of about 1,300 registered sex offenders. Most of
Look
whom
near the schools.
they're what? Near the
Look
schools?
near the schools.
Most of these individuals fall in the most dangerous category.
Those are the ones they chose not to keep track of?
Yeah.
The most dangerous.
It's a little scary. They say offenders are supposed to be. It's almost like being on parole. You need to tell them where you are.
Yeah,
if
check
you're
in.
Moved. You got to have check-ins.
Yeah, you got to register with the cops and all
Yep.
that stuff.
And they said, we kind of just did a little check, and it looks like 8% of the 16,000 registered sex offenders in Missouri are MIA.
Oh, that's weird.
It's also
Yeah.
weird that they have 16,000
Yeah,
in
isn't that half
Missouri.
the population of Missouri?
Yeah, super scary.
No, there's a buttload of people.
There is?
You'd be
in
shocked.
Missouri?
I've been there a couple of times. I had different business there, and I had a friend there when I was in, I guess, high school. I don't really remember. But anyway, there's a bunch of people in
Really?
Missouri, like millions, maybe 4 million people.
Wow.
Maybe. But definitely over 2.
All right.
Well, we can add Missouri to the list of places we don't want to move to.
Yes, you can, for sure. And St. Roberts, Missouri, at the top of that list. I did a show there one night for the military and others at just a bar. But this kind of fake city built for just these servicemen at St. Roberts. And 3 or 4 beers in, all these guys are trained fighters. Whatever, they're just looking for a reason for it. It's like, hey, I'm the paid entertainment. I don't want to fight with you. But you're a Marine.
Someplace else that is a little bit disturbing to be in is North Carolina. After Hurricane Florence, they have seen a lot of strange bits of nature.
Yeah.
Remember, they had the fish all over the side
I
of the
do
road.
remember the fish.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing.
Well, now they have gallinippers.
Not
No.
galenitum.
I hate the
Gallinippers.
gallinippers.
Or Passophora ciliata.
No.
Oh.
Can I tell you what it is in layman's terms?
Yeah.
Gigantic mosquitoes.
Oh, I did not get even close. I had big, but flower. I had a big flower.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah,
They
a
say
mosquito flower.
gigantic, aggressive, monstrous pests with stripes on their legs.
Oh, that's so weird. What does it make them, Crips or Bloods? Yeah, but it seems the bigger they are, the easier they would be to swat. They're not the hardest animal in the world to swat.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how many there are.
I'm going through my Buddhist phase, though, where I'm not killing bugs. It's really weird.
Geez.
It's only come up like twice. But I told you earlier when I saved that moth.
Yeah.
Remember? And I forget what other thing I refused to kill. But then I forgot I was a Buddhist for a minute, and I killed something. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to hell. And Buddhists don't go to hell. I'll be fine. I'll just come back as that bug.
Yeah, but if you killed whatever that bug, that could be someone you knew.
Yeah, no, I could. But I don't like most people.
That's true.
I killed that bug. Well, it turned out to be Steve. Steve was an ass when he was a person.
How about some good news in the news?
We would
please.
love good news in the news.
Well, Classic Tricks is making a comeback.
Good.
That should make a lot of people who ate the sweet cereal in the 90s happy. It's Classic Tricks with fruity shapes making a comeback.
Are they going to put in all the artificial colors again and artificial flavoring?
That's what I said when I yelled, all right.
Yeah, Trix is one of the many who have started using, like beet juice. And
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what else. No, this is just the shapes.
Oh. Well, then you're lying to us. It's not Classic Tricks.
And I thought Tricks, I thought they were just balls, little balls.
Yeah, me too.
They were little balls, but then in the 90s, they became fruity shapes. And
So wouldn't you bring back the balls?
balls you can still get. You can have balls whenever you want, Danny. You can go to the supermarket and find balls in your Trix cereal.
That's true.
Derek, do you remember this one? You were a product of the 90s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Classic Tricks with fruity shapes set to make a comeback. The iconic shapes back in the bowls of people who enjoyed eating them. Now, Trix has been around since 1954, but as you said, balls. And now it'll be fruity shapes.
Yeah, I say no.
What do you
I
mean
say
no?
No, keep the balls and put real sugar and fake color in them.
Yeah,
Make it a
exactly.
cereal for people who eat cereal.
It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida. Story of the day.
Yay.
In Titusville, Florida. Grandma.
Where?
Titusville.
Tight-assville, Florida. Is that what you're telling me?
Titusville.
All right, sure.
Florida grandma wakes up early in the morning. She opens her blinds. She's expecting to see the sunrise and her kitty cat's on the back porch. Instead, she sees a naked man standing there. And he's got a little bit of clothing still around, like his ankles,
No. Well,
which
that's
are
nice.
part of a two-piece jail outfit, and a pair of flip-flops.
Yeah, sure.
And he's got nothing on because all those clothes are on the bottom around his ankles. And he's doing a little dance and he's hanging out, and Grandma's horrified. She opens up the blind and says, "What the hell? That's not my cat." So she decided to try to scare him away. She popped out her dentures and said, "Grandma's got no teeth."
Oh, that's a big mistake for a guy that's been in prison. Are you crazy? You might as well put on lingerie.
He was a little freaked out by Grandma popping her teeth out. He tried to flee, was tripped up and
By his pants.
by his
Yeah.
pants. And he is now back with the entire orange outfit on, facing more jail time.
I would imagine. So he just walked away from work crew. I mean, he
Yep.
didn't hop fences and stuff like that. But still, you can't spy on Granny in your underwear, or even less.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Florida.
Paul Jellybean should not be listening.
I know. Why didn't she sleep in?
Especially the part about the tight-ass Granny. That's weird.
We are going to be right back with music news, entertainment, and sports. Some of the stories, well, an extremely rich young man has reportedly gotten married without a prenup. Paul McCartney did something super cool, and there are pictures to prove it. Pete Carroll speaking out about one of his players and that questionable activity on Sunday. We'll share his surprising comments next in sports. Starting with some music news, Paul McCartney has been out on tour, was up in Canada. He was in Winnipeg. And while out on tour, he likes to stay fit. He was on his bicycle.
Yeah.
And he was bicycling through Winnipeg.
I wonder if he rents one or brings one.
That's a good question.
Now, I'm Paul McCartney, I'm rich. I'm bringing my bike. I'm bringing
Yeah.
my bike that I'm used to, that I paid $2,500 for a Paul McCartney kind of bike.
Yeah, that sounds about
They're
right.
great with the Cannondales. I'm not going to ride a new, who's been sitting on that bike? I don't know what that is. But also now with convenience, you just walk downstairs and swipe a card and you can have a bike,
Sure.
at least here.
Now, does Paul McCartney have his own airplane that he takes out on tour? Because he can't drive.
He takes his
Winnipeg.
own airplane in the sense of he leases a plane. He doesn't own a Gulfstream, which is, by the way, terrible business.
Yeah.
It's just you lose money every day that you own a jet. Just
Because you
charter
don't
it.
use it enough?
Yeah, so he does, those famous things of Led Zeppelin flying on the Led Zeppelin jet. It's just a decal on a jet.
Right,
You know, I think that's what he does now.
Well, he was in Winnipeg out for a bike ride and taking his bicycle all throughout Winnipeg when he stumbled upon a photo shoot, a husband and wife doing their wedding pictures.
Nice.
And he stopped and said, "Congratulations," and posed for pictures with them.
That is lovely. I've done that, and they were so mad. It's in Central Park. I just walked right up. There's been some story like this, and I was wandering, and I was geocaching. That's what it was with Amy. And there's this wedding party, and they're really nice. Now, I know I am not famous enough to just wander into a wedding and think they are grateful. But, I've been invited to many strangers' weddings. Oh, my God, you're that guy I grew up watching. Come on in, take a picture with my mom.
Yeah.
So some guy can see him. He recognizes me, and he motions me in. All right, come in. And I get next to the bride and or the girl I don't remember. And they take the picture, and then somebody says, "Who are you?" And I said, "Well, that's not important right now." And I ran away. Anyway, Amy felt terrible for me. It was awful.
Well, in this case, they knew who Paul McCartney was.
Me, Paul McCartney, twins.
The pictures are super cute. Everybody grinning from ear to ear. Paul McCartney just looks so chill.
Plus, 77-year-old man in a helmet probably gets away with not being Paul McCartney, going 12 miles an hour, whatever he does, 8 miles an hour. I'll bet he gets to
was
do stuff.
Not wearing a helmet. That's pretty bad.
Yes, at 77, I think it's
Yeah.
bad at any age.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd do it if I have to, but that seems crazy. I mean, a car going, "Hey, you're Paul McCartney," can run right into you.
Yeah, it's dangerous for anybody not to be wearing a helmet, but he's seen in the pictures wearing a blue baseball cap. So unless he took his helmet off and then went real quick and put his hat on,
Oh, I think that's exactly what happened.
I see a picture of him on a bicycle with a hat.
Oh,
not a
then no,
helmet.
he's busted.
Also making music news, Justin Bieber. There have been a lot of rumors about him and his fiancée, Haley Baldwin.
Right.
They were seen getting a marriage license in New York City, but denied that they had gotten married. They were just getting the license. Well, some people reported they're totally married. Then they were seen going to a lawyers, and everyone said, "Oh, they're getting a prenup." Well, now Justin Bieber says they're married. Justin Bieber, Haley Baldwin, who is Billy Baldwin's kid. No. Stephen Baldwin's
Stephen
kid.
Baldwin's, yeah.
Ugly Baldwin.
She's not, but
No.
he is, yeah. So according to People magazine, and everyone is saying they are correct, they are married, there is no prenup.
Stupid, 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 stupid.
Crazy. His
Yeah.
net worth, 250. Hers, a couple mil.
Why would you not? Well, because they're young. That's why. I've never had one. I've wanted one. I almost had Amy sign one.
Yeah.
I actually had a post-nup written up that she said, yeah, because I kept talking about it. And I had it written up here. We'd been married a couple of years, and I said, I think about it all the time. Would you mind? And she said, no, I'll sign one. And then I did the same thing I think young people love doing. You don't need to sign one. Now I have to stay with her.
That was a good move on her part by saying she would sign it. Then you go, oh, she really does.
She
love
does. She
me.
loves me. She's not waiting until I'm old. Imagine how fast that's going to be. 72 years old, and I can just see the smoke coming off her shoes.
He is worth about $250 million. No prenup, and this might be a good time for me to remind him and everybody listening that Rick Jones will be joining us tomorrow.
Rick
Rick
Jones.
Jones, right here, 7:30 tomorrow morning.
Taking your questions about divorce, prenups, child custody. He will be doling out free legal advice tomorrow at 7:30, so join us then.
Maybe Bieber will call in.
Maybe he will, yeah. And Netflix, they have a very successful show called Black Mirror. It is so creepy and weird that it's one of the biggest shows for Tori. She actually doesn't watch television, right, Tori, except for Black Mirror?
Exactly. It's kind of like a modern day sci-fi, a lot of technology and like AI and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's sort of Twilight Zone-ish,
Yeah.
but on...
And you don't watch anything else.
No, not really.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Pick
Maybe-
one show.
Serial killer documentaries and that's it.
Oh, I like those. I'm a fan of those.
Well, Black Mirror is very successful. They are just about to start the 5th season, and Netflix said they are going to roll out something never seen before, a choose-your-own adventure for Black Mirror. viewers will have to make the decisions that affect where the plot goes.
Well, when they say never seen before, is that because they had their eyes closed?
Well, we've seen it
100 times.
one or two. But this is going to be so technologically advanced that we've not had this before, that you can press something on your TV remote that will alter the direction the show is going. So in the past, you could American Idol, you could text in, and then like the next day we find out who the winner is. Or
And if we're going back 30, 40 years in television, shooting different versions of the same TV show so nobody knows what's going to happen, and any outcome could happen. The movie Clue, starring my very own Tim Curry, they shot a whole bunch of different endings to that, and in towns, they'd come in and you could vote on who you wanted to either die or wanted to be the murderer. Oh, wow. Yeah, so they've done a lot, but the instant access on your remote, that's interesting.
Yeah, this is what is so crazy about it, is you'll be able to click a button on your remote, you'll be able to click on your computer if that's how you're watching.
Can you talk to your remote? That's the important part.
Yeah. But this is, I don't know, they think maybe part of the wave of the future, just technology so advanced. Choose your own adventure with Black Mirror.
If this is the way of the future, how it's going to be so complicated for them to shoot. They're already spending a ton of money on these shows.
Here it comes.
And now they have to shoot 10, 15 versions of it and make them all broadcast quality.
It's true. Former First Lady Michelle Obama and singers Kelly Clarkson, Jennifer Hudson, and Meghan Trainor are confirmed for a Today Show special celebrating International Day of the Girl. That is something that will be happening on the 11th of this month. Michelle Obama will be making an announcement related to global adolescent girls' education during the show. It'll be a live sit-down with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb. And then Kelly Clarkson, Jennifer Hudson, Meghan Trainor all will perform. And this is all about getting female young girls around the world educated because, you know, in several countries, they do not get educated.
And parts of Jersey.
That's maybe by choice, but in other places it's still illegal, and a lot of places don't have money for schools. So Michelle Obama staying busy.
All right, the Meghan Trainor can sing their favorite song that says essentially, "I have sex with you, so you should be nice to me." I think that's a concept for young girls to hear. Thanks, Meghan. I give you bass. That's what she says, but that means butt.
FX going back on the road with Mayans MC. FX has picked up the second season of the drama. This is the Sons of Anarchy spinoff that has proved to be a very strong ratings performer, just like its predecessor. They are 4 episodes into the first season, and it has been the highest ratings of any new cable series this year.
Oh, wow.
They are doing quite well. So season 2 getting the thumbs up, and it'll premiere next year.
It's pretty good. It's not as good as Sons of Anarchy, but it's pretty good.
Nice.
I thought they were going to get beat up at first. Now, I have not even seen it. I thought the concept was going to be, hey, what are you trying to say, that all Latinos are criminals? Because all Mayans technically have to be Latino, don't they?
I don't know. I mean, this is a specific motorcycle gang, yeah.
Right, the Mayans.
And they are all Latino.
Yeah, I would think that would be troublesome because they got in trouble just with bikers. Do you remember that? When they said, we're not all gang members, we're motorcycle enthusiasts.
Yeah.
So I just thought Latinos were going to say, hey, man, you can't just paint us with that broad brush like that. But I guess there's enough redeeming value in other parts of the show.
George Carlin, the late legendary comedian, will be given the biography treatment.
Hey! Time for a few fart jokes.
He must have listened to this show.
Yeah.
This is going to be written by somebody named Stan Shervin, who is the Oscar-nominated screenwriter behind Brad Pitt's Moneyball, which is a great movie.
It was a great movie.
And George Carlin's prolific career spanned over 5 decades, more than 130 Tonight Show appearances, 14 HBO specials, 23 solo albums, 5 Grammy Awards, and that's just some of what he did. So they will be making a biography about George Carlin.
Back when biographies were good, they were really good, they were great. Then they were crap, and it sounds like now they're going to get the higher writers and stuff. When they did my biography, it was like a couple of guys walking around Philadelphia with a camera asking me some lame questions. No. And then it all turned out to be about drugs and alcohol and jail, which, by the way, was pretty good. Yeah.
Covered most of it.
Covered a good portion of it, but there was other stuff.
Yeah.
And that was for A&E?
A&E biography.
Yeah, so this is going to be for the big screen. This will be this will be a movie. So like Moneyball. So this is getting the biography.
Oh, so it's not a documentary.
It's going to be a movie documentary for the big screen as opposed to airing on the TV show called Biography. This is a biography.
Right. Got it.
It's getting the movie treatment that we are assuming will be the big screen as opposed to Netflix. They haven't sold it yet to anyone. We just know who is writing it. Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Up next for your Seattle Seahawks, the Los Angeles Rams, Sunday with a 1:25 start time.
Yeah.
Now, we know that this past Sunday got us a win, but we also had some pretty big injuries. And we talked about Earl Thomas being carted off the field with a broken leg. Now, when he was carted off, he had a parting shot.
Yeah, no broken finger.
That's what I was saying.
That was fine. I think that's what he was trying to show him, really, was my finger's fine, guys.
So I'll be back for the next play. We are number one.
We're number one.
Yeah, I'm saying.
He did express his frustration with a hand gesture,
Yeah.
and Pete Carroll said during his talk with 710 ESPN, I know there's been a lot of talk. People are criticizing whatever happened. They don't understand. This was an earth-shattering moment for the kid. He knew exactly what had happened to him. We need to give him a little slack. This is a very, very difficult moment that most people would never understand what it was all about.
Yeah, I will have to agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
And, you know, you hear a cry. He's never coming back to a football field. At least that's my belief. Is it both legs or the same leg twice?
Same leg twice.
Yeah, I think you're not coming back on that leg.
Yeah, and he's already a really emotional player, so he's already amped up for the game, and then you have that happen.
So
potential career
normally
ending.
it bugs me with anything unprofessional from these multimillionaires running around. I didn't like him being a holdout and not going to practice. But if you say, do we have to really condemn the guy and penalize him somehow for flipping off his own team? I go, no. He heard the crack, knew it was all over, told you to take care of me before something like this happened. Yeah, I think he gets that one.
The worst thing is, people who have broken a bone, anyone listening who has broken a bone, you hear it internally somehow. You hear that crack in your brain, in your ears. It's the worst sound in the world.
Yeah, I've heard it 27 times, I think, including fingers and toes.
We are going to be joined by a Seattle Seahawk today, correct?
That's right. Seahawks wide receiver Tyler Lockett joins us in the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:20. He's going to come in. We can talk to him about what's going on this season. He's got a great giveaway he's doing with CenturyLink he's going to tell us all about. And, any questions we have for him, he'll be in around 8:20.
That's so
Tyler
cool.
Lockett.
That is so cool.
Very nice. Well, last night was an exciting Monday night football game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. A lot of eyes on Mahomes, trying to see if he could keep it going.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Kansas City beat Denver 27-23. Kids on fire.
Yeah. A lot of people talking about a left-handed pass he threw.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was crazy.
He threw a left-handed pass.
So he's got the
He's
football
right-handed, yeah.
in his right hand,
Yeah.
which is his dominant hand, and he starts running to his left.
Yeah, he's rolling out to the left.
So how are you supposed to throw? Like, that's a terrible move for a quarterback to
Right,
do
you pivot.
because then you have to realign your body to get your right hand to throw.
And
No.
he's got people pass coverage, pass rush right on him. He's about to get hit.
And then he's like, oh, I'll just put it in my left hand and throw it with my left hand.
How'd it
Completes
go?
the pass. First down.
Nice.
Yeah.
Crazy. The dude is talented.
I think that was isn't there a penalty there of some kind?
For
No, I mean
switching hands?
he wasn't past the line of scrimmage or anything.
Because I know very limited about football, but did he take the football, as far as you know? Did he push it from one hand to another, or did he toss it from one hand to another? Because if he tossed it from one hand to another, I think there's a penalty there.
Not to my knowledge.
Not that I know.
Well, since I know the least about sports, I'm going to say I'm making this up.
Some question about penalty not being called last night was that it did look like at one point the play clock had run out and they did not call a foul, and they maybe should have, but it is not.
Delay a game, right? Is that the one?
It should have been a delay of game, but it's not a reviewable play, so the play call not getting the penalty not getting called, it just didn't go through. Yesterday, we had a historic day in baseball with a double tie, and they had to have a one-game runoff to find out who was going to win the divisions. The Brewers beat the Cubs. A very exciting baseball game, 3-1. The Dodgers beat the Rockies. So we now know who is going to postseason and where. Today is the first round of postseason playoffs. The Rockies play the Cubs. This is a one and done. You win or you go home. So the Rockies.
What do you get if you win?
You get to move on to the next round to get towards the World Series.
When's the World Series?
October.
Oh, so this month.
Oh, yeah. It's
All
like
right, they're moving along
2
towards. I thought it was going to
weeks.
be another 6 weeks.
No, I don't have the schedule right in front of me. But so what happens first is wild card. That's a one and done. And then they have a 5-game playoff and then another 5-game and then the World Series.
Okay.
But it goes pretty quick because they play them back to back.
You know, you lose me. You don't have any of my teams in it.
Right.
You kind of lose me a little
Yeah,
bit,
me
to be
too.
honest.
It is still the best of the best. Rockies, Cubs, 5 o'clock. Tomorrow, the American League has their wild card playoff, which is Oakland at the New York Yankees.
Yeah, of course, on that same theory, Chambers Bay is the best of the best at golf. Guess what else I'm not going to watch? Golf. After a while, you need somebody I know, somebody who lent me money, something to get me invested.
I'll tune back in for a little bit of the World Series, but you're right. Once the Mariners are
Once the
out,
Mariners are out.
it reminds me that it's baseball, and then
Right.
I don't watch for a while.
Well, hockey season starts tomorrow, and y'all want to start getting to know hockey because we're going to get a team soon.
True.
True. It seems almost inevitable.
Today they make the big pitch, right?
Yep. Today they are in New York getting together to say, give Seattle a team.
On the long list of things I'm against begging. We're Seattle. Shut up.
Yeah.
You don't want a team with us. Where else are you going to go? Los Angeles has Nevada has. What else are you going to do? We're Seattle. Shut up. Bezos wants one.
Right, and we sold all those tickets in like 35
In
seconds.
35
Come on.
seconds. But it seems to me that people will be happy enough that I'm going to close at least one eye to that our representative, our mayor, right? Isn't
Yeah.
our mayor, is it Durkin?
Yep.
Yeah.
Jenny Durkin.
Is it in New York begging people for stuff? We're Seattle. Shut up. We'll come to your state and take your stuff.
Canada wants a team.
Canada sucks.
bad.
They're not
They
even a
can't
real
have
country.
Team before us. Again, well, they have teams, but
Yeah, don't they have a bunch of teams? Don't confuse me.
before Seattle. Quebec
You can't
wants
have
a
hockey
team.
in
In
Canada.
Canada, what are you, a bunch of nuts? Call yourself the Canucks or something? That's almost insulting.
Yeah, Quebec had a team. It got taken away from them, and they want a team back, which I get, but you can have it after us. Sorry.
Quebec's
Yeah.
stupid.
I don't even speak the language.
This is true. Oui. Sports brought to you by
Not
Bradley
until about 10 more minutes.
Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
That's right. Call 1-800-DUI. It's important to get a DUI. You are in nothing but trouble. You can, you can minimize this. Call the lawyers at 1-800-DUI-AWAY. They'll fight hard for you. They'll meet you in Seattle, Everett, or Tacoma. So if the unfortunate happens to you and you do get a DUI, don't delay. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Hey, want to remind you guys that Money for Nothing is continuing on KZOK 13 times a day. You've got a chance to win $1,000. You're listening for the new hourly keyword. You text that word at 200-200 and you could be our next winner. Not too much longer to wait for that keyword and your chance to win. 7:10 this morning.
Das Game is Farfignugan fun. You're right.
Close.
At 7:20 this morning, we're playing a game called German for What? And you can win yourself a pair of tickets to Oktoberfest Northwest. We'll be here around 7:20.
Gender reveal parties are all the rage. You throw a big party and you tell your family and friends the gender of your kid. And sometimes what you do is you unveil a cake. Macklemore did this. Like you cut open a cake and the color of the cake inside.
Oh, and there's a little baby inside, and you give that cake a C-section. I like this game because I thought it was stupid, but now I'm excited.
One of the big ones has to do with balloons.
Yeah, pop the balloon.
You pop
That's
the balloon.
how she got pregnant.
And the smoke or the powder stuff that comes out
Right, pink or blue, boy or girl.
tells you the gender of the baby.
By the way, for this gender reveal party, there's no one in the world I like this much. Like if they said,
go?
"Oh,
To
you
go
have-
to theirs?
you have to cross the street or something,
Right.
and maybe get a gift or something.
You do have to get a
come and
gift.
watch me pop balloons or something." I'm coming there because I kind of have. You're my boss. You're my coworker that doesn't know I don't want to.
Yeah, nobody likes to go to this.
Nobody likes to go to any of this. I thought when we had Isabella, I thought we were not telling what the gender was, even to each other. Turns out that was just me.
Nobody was telling you, but everyone else knew?
Like that nobody was telling me because they didn't know that I cared. When I was talking about it on the radio, and they said, "You really don't know what gender your baby is?" And I said, "Yeah, no, I have no idea what it's going to be." And they said, "Do you have a nursery picked out?" And I said, "Yeah." And they went, "Go home and look at it." And oh, yeah, I did. And I did. And it was yellow. Didn't tell me nothing, no how.
Keep it neutral.
Yeah.
Well, in Tucson, a man was having a gender reveal party, and he fired at that massive balloon, and it sparked a fire that that burned acres and acres.
And there were sirens.
Woo, woo, woo.
And then the hoses came out. And the fire was doused. But then it sparked back up.
Come on, man. My heart rate was all down.
So this dude started a massive fire at the gender reveal party because the party did not go as planned. He missed. It sparked a fire. This fire caused so much damage, 600 firefighters, and now he found out he got a bill, $200,000.
Which is actually a deal because they spent like $8 million fighting that fire.
That's correct.
Yeah, they were wrong on the news this morning, too. They said that it cost $8 million, which is exactly what he'll have to pay in restitution. And I thought, we have these guys beat by a whole day. First of all, they're just doing the story we reported yesterday, and they've got the amount of money. They had this poor bastard paying $8 million back, which... You know, it was an accident. It was a stupid accident, but it was an accident. He's not an arsonist. He's an idiot.
But a $200,000 fine
seems fair.
Is a pretty good chunk of change, though.
Yeah, and they're letting him pay it back in installments. But I think we've all had a celebration go wrong. Just most of us don't cause a wildfire and $6 million in damages.
I had, and I think if I think about this, because I have wildly, excessively emotional Italian relatives, but the first I'll go for, and I think this might be a Dante birthday. I'm not sure. At Chuck E. Cheese, life's going great. As I remember the story, I'm sober.
As you like to remember the story.
Well, if I can remember it, I'm more sober than, say, Kavanaugh. So, back and forth and things like that. But that's when Eric Estrada got stuck in the tubes. And nobody that was there will ever forget Paunch being stuck in the slidey tubes. And I don't know if he was going after his kid or my kid or somebody else's kid, but he was being a great sport, this guy. And when he got stuck in and they had to take him apart. Not Eric.
Not Eric Estrada.
Eric got to stay whole. But yeah, they had to take a whole section of the tubey thing out to get Mr. Estrada. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I think sometimes adults at child parties
all the time
want to behave like the kids are.
Sure, yeah.
And it does not end well.
No.
Well, you guys, we want to hear your story. Have you had a celebration go wrong? Tell us what happened by calling 800-252-1025 or text in 90627.
So if you want to tell people the gender of your baby and you live in Tucson, you should shoot at stuff. That's how it's done. At a gender reveal party, it went wrong. Some guy started a big fire. Now he's got to pay $200,000 in fines. Question is, have you ever had a celebration go wrong? Here's the phone number, 1-800-252-1025. You can text to 90627.
Good morning to Yo in Olympia.
What up, Yo?
What up, Debo?
What's happening?
Well, we had some friends have a really fun birthday party. It was an 80s theme, and everybody was, dressed up 80s, and the host, husband, was dressed up as Paul Stanley. So we're having a birthday party. We're reliving our youth. We're getting drunk, and we're rocking out, and Paul Stanley stands up on the table to rock out, takes a wrong step, the table flips, busts him in the face, blood everywhere. The party was kind of over after that.
Wow. Wow. I'll tell you this, Yo. We had my boss and the godfather of my child was at a 70th themes party. Now, he was a diver in college, and he's really good at gymnastics. He's wearing a white suit and a John Travolta mask, and he does a backflip, but he's drunk and unsuccessful, slams his face into the dance floor, gets up and does a ta-da like everything's fine, and everybody buys it until the blood just starts to shoot out the neck of the mask. So gnarly, man. So I feel your pain.
Remember that FBI agent who was celebrating? He was dancing on the dance floor, did a backflip.
Did a backflip and his gun fell out.
Gun
And
fell out,
shot a guy.
shot somebody. 800-252-1025, asking if you've had a celebration go wrong. Definitely when alcohol's involved, things can go very wrong.
I had a party go wrong before I even did anything. I got invited somehow because I don't even know this guy. Kelsey Grammer had just gotten married to Camille Grammer. Maybe it's because this event was taking place, or some of this event was taking place in the hotel I was in the ballroom. So it was a 70s themed party. So I dressed up in disco clothes and disco thing and a 70s thing and some braids and fringe and stuff like that, full on 70s, and a 70s hat. And I'm walking through the lobby of the Universal Sheraton, and this lady looks at me, and I can see she recognizes me. And as I walk back, I hear her say, "Oh, that's so sad."
Oh!
And I realized I'm dressed up like back when the Partridge Family was like,
Like you've never changed your
I
style.
won't change anything about it, that I'm going to go around doing everything it takes to be Danny Partridge again, even at, I'm assuming, 45, 50 years old at that point.
Yeah. You know where I've seen the celebration go wrong? Keg stands.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody goes up to do a keg stand, they slip, and if you don't land right, it's the broken collarbone.
And if you do land right, it's knocking all your teeth out.
Oh, yeah. I've only seen the broken bones. I've seen blood, but keg stands never seem to end well. Like,
No,
oh,
they
my
really
team
don't.
just won. Let's do a keg stand.
If I end up drunk, bleeding's worth it, as far as I'm concerned. Like, that's a small price to pay.
We've got some text into 90627. Somebody says, at my birthday party, a buddy got naked and rode on the hood of another buddy's car down the main road. A cop drove by, so the driver threw the Geo Metro in reverse, backed into a mailbox, and broke out the back window.
Well, that's quite a day.
That's quite the birthday
Yeah.
party, yeah. And also, our friend Joe in Chicago says, at the Garbageman Christmas party at a hotel, there's always drunken fights and skinny dipping, and sometimes the garbage men use the gingerbread house displays as a urinal and then fall asleep.
Ew!
I don't want to go to the Chicago Garbage Man
See,
Christmas
I do.
party. You do?
They are
that's
not
the that's the
sanitation
difference.
engineers.
That screams my name.
Yeah.
So I can drink and pee on stuff? Yeah, I'm in.
You're right, though. Definitely not sanitation engineers.
No,
They're
see?
garbage men.
Derek and Linwood, have you had a celebration go wrong?
Hey, Derek.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, so my buddies decided to throw me a 21st. I'm 25, so it was my 21st birthday party, and there was a ton of people there I didn't know, and one of my buddies ended up getting me a bottle of Everclear from Canada
Yikes.
for my
Jeez.
birthday, and back then I don't know if it's illegal here now, but it was 95 proof, which is like 180%, 190% alcohol.
It's bad news, yeah.
And so
Other way around, right?
And so, we didn't even really drink that stuff. All of a sudden, I saw my buddies blowing fireballs with it. And these are, I'm not exactly a hardcore individual, but these are two pretty hardcore guys that are blowing fireballs. But I'm pretty drunk, so I decided I think it's a good idea. Even though
no, it's
Bad
not.
no,
idea.
Derek.
Bad idea, Derek.
Don't do it, Derek.
Well, the two guys did it right in front of me. I figured, what could go wrong?
Right.
But I went ahead and took a swig and put the lighter in front of my face and went to go blow my fireball, and my whole face lit on fire, and both of my hands lit on fire, and I ended up having some pretty serious burns. But I
Well,
finished. out the night.
how's your face look, Derek?
Hey, you know what? Scar free.
Good for you.
I guess God bless you on that one.
Yeah,
That's
sometimes
cool.
it's just the hair and the eyebrows that get the worst of it, but alcohol and lighters, never a good idea.
Yeah. I go with that's very close to my motto, which is alcohol and life. Don't be that great for me.
Good morning, Rob in Louisville.
Hey, Rob.
Good morning, guys.
What's up?
Well, about 2 years ago, we had a 4th of July throwdown and shot off about $2,000 worth of fireworks. At the end of the night, I told my son to go around and pick up all the spent fireworks and put them in the garbage can. And he set the garbage can by the back door, and somewhere in the middle of the night, we were woken up by a fire department, and the side of our house was on fire.
Oh.
Whoa, what do you
Yeah.
think happened? One of them was still smoldering?
Something might have been smoldering there, or, we really don't know.
You
You
know,
gotta put
Roman
'em in a-
candles, and I know this from shooting them at my friend Neil's face, make very little noise. It's not like a bang, bang, bang. They go pew, 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 like that. And you
Oh.
can't. So if that went off in your garbage can, if he thought the one was out and then it relit in the middle of the night, that's what happened.
What about you, Brent in Port Townsend? Have you had a celebration go wrong?
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, my neighbor, it was his anniversary. I offered to babysit the 6-year-old while they went to dinner, and I was playing with the baby, and I was giving those rides where you grab by the ankle and the wrist, and I pulled her arm out of the socket.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard
honey,
of that.
That happened to me.
That's where I've heard of it.
Yep.
Yeah. The kid, I blame the kid. Keep your bone in your socket. Don't make your uncle look bad. Brent's a nice guy. Now everybody thinks he's a child injurer.
Yeah, that's even worse than mine. Mine was my big brother doing it. He was dragging me up the stairs because he wanted to lock me in my bedroom to go to a party.
Which you totally deserved.
Right.
I was screaming. It was Halloween. And he's like, you're going in your room. And he hauls me up the stairs, throws me in my room, but then realizes my arm's out of the socket and it looks gnarly. With Brent, he was babysitting someone else's kid.
Oh, it's no worse for him than for you. Don't try and make his family worse than your family. You're both a bunch of kid maulers.
Paul, have you had a celebration go wrong?
Yeah, I went to a Halloween party dressed as the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz.
Sure.
So I was all in silver. I had the axe, the funnel on the head, and my arms and face were painted with silver, like a wax paint. And we were in this small apartment, and it was really hot. A lot of people packed in there, and my paint started melting, and I just got silver all over, like the couch, everything I touched just had silver all over it.
They hated you, didn't they?
Yeah, they didn't like
What,
it.
did
I
a
wasn't invited
stripper
back the next year.
No, I can't imagine that you were.
Thanks for all the calls and for the texts. It is now time to play the new game that is sweeping the nation. German for what?
German for what?
You can win a pair of tickets to Oktoberfest Northwest Friday through Sunday at the Washington State Fair Event Center. To play, call right now, 800-252-1025. 2.5 KZOK. We are playing a new game called German for what?
German for what?
You sound like a Jewish
I
grandmother.
don't know. Yeah, I'm not working this out that well.
Well, this is a cool
German
prize.
for what?
No, see, that's the Swedish chef.
The prize is a pair of tickets to the 14th annual Oktoberfest Northwest, happening Friday through Sunday at the Washington State Fair Event Center in Puyallup. To win, you will just have to tell us the English translation of the German word from Danny's clue.
You got all that?
Easy as that.
That seems easy.
All right, sure it does.
All right, Rich in Tacoma is our contestant.
Hiya, Rich.
Good morning, you people.
What do you mean, you people? Hey, Rich, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I do.
And do you understand the rules of the game?
I do.
Then here we go. The German word worst sounds a bit like the English word worst, which means most unpleasant, inferior, or unfavorable. But I think this worst is actually the best. Unlike Oktoberfest Northwest, a worst fest might not be a party that you would like to attend, and you probably don't want to see how the worst is made. But that doesn't mean it's not delicious. Can you tell us the word worst is German for what?
I'm going to guess sausage.
Son of a gun. Right out of the box. Nicely done.
Well done, Rich.
Sausage is correct. Rich in Tacoma is going to the Jeep Winners window in our lobby to get his pair of general admission tickets to Oktoberfest Northwest, presented by Evergreen Eye Center. Join over 25,000 people at the 3-day festival featuring German beer and steins, beer Olympics, Hammerschlagen, and more.
And worst.
And worst.
The worst.
You can get details at oktoberfestnw.com. We'll have another chance for you to win tomorrow at 7:20. And up next, the big news of the day.
To you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE, or you can go online to goldbergjones.com. And I'd like to remind everybody that Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones in studio tomorrow morning around 7:30, answering all your questions about divorce free of charge. So make sure to be here tomorrow and call in.
There's a new study out, and the research is showing the fastest growing economy in a large city in America.
Oh, economy. That's different.
So 15 different metrics are used to study each city's socio-demographics.
I like
Jobs,
Matrix 1 through 3, but then it got stupid.
jobs, economy, and population growth, median household income growth, job growth, working age population growth. What city is growing the most? So 2 different ways we're going to look at this. One is big cities, and one is all cities. In the large city category, at number 1, is not Seattle.
Okay.
San Jose, California.
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. That's what I was going to say, but then Paul interrupted me.
Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
The fastest growing large city in America, Austin, Texas.
Super nice town.
Hearing
It's a
it?
good place to play the real estate game, by the way, because they're still, comparatively speaking, to places with, my first main thing is weather and stuff like that. There's still deals to be had in Austin, Texas, and it's a super cool town.
Yeah, you might want to get on that because the rate of growth, those numbers may start to come down. Austin, Texas, fastest growing large city in America. At number 2, Miami.
Wow, I would not have guessed that.
No.
Yep. At number 3,
Seattle?
Seattle. We are the 3rd fastest growing large city.
We're number 3. We're number 3.
But down from number 1 for 8 years in a row. But these things happen. I remember when I moved to Phoenix and not that long afterwards, it was the number 1 growing city and the fastest growing city in America. And now it's not. And I think all the places that get super hot are going to be in trouble. I think people are coming around and going, maybe global warming's real. And if that's true, is it going to be 220 degrees here in a year?
Yeah.
Charlotte, North Carolina came in at number 3.
I was going to guess one of the Carolinas.
And Denver. Now, looking at the small cities, even if you look at all the cities, right? So if you count small cities with the most growth, Seattle's still ranked number 25. But when you look at just the fastest growing cities, Fort Myers, Florida at number 1, followed by a couple places in Texas, Bend, Oregon, more places in Texas, and Florida. Now, so that's taking into account small cities as well.
Okay.
So worst of all the large cities when it comes to growth, Cleveland.
Hey, didn't you guess Cleveland?
Yeah. So I couldn't have been more wrong.
Or more right. You're just early.
It sounds so. Texas is getting it all though.
Yeah.
Big
Texas
and
is
small cities.
Booming.
I've only spent, I don't know, because I did a lot of traveling when I was little, and they barely bothered to tell me what cities I was in. But as an adult, I've spent some time in Dallas and Austin.
San Antonio you went to?
They're terrific. San Antonio kind of blows, I think. Is that the one with the river walk in the Alamo? Yeah, that's it. You can see them all in an afternoon and you're out.
Getting hurt by a bear in Alaska is rare but not unheard of. But one man's injury is more of the unheard of kind. William McCormick suffered life-threatening injuries after he shot a bear and that bear fell on him. They shot the bear, positioned up above a ridge, and then the bear began to roll down that ridge, dislodging rocks in the process. The bear then landed atop of him. He had to be helicoptered out of the park where he was doing his shooting.
What kind of bear?
They're grizzlies.
Grizzlies?
Yeah.
It's a bearvalanche.
The bear. Nice. Say it again.
It's a bearvalanche.
Oh, that Paul deserves all the credit for that one. I can't believe I didn't think of that. Do you know I think it's the last line, if not one of the last few lines of Roadhouse?
I don't recall the last line.
He says, and I quote, a bear fell on me. So apparently this happens left and right and in Patrick Swayze movies.
Taco Bell is adding something new to its lineup, and it's pretty awesome. They have tortilla chip flavors, so like a bag of chips that are from their sauces. So the little sauce packet that y'all love, the little hot sauce packet.
Fire sauce.
Yep.
Diablo sauce.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one. And by the way, if anybody needs any, I might know where 300 are.
People love the Diablo sauce, so they are now coming out with Diablo tortilla chips. They are also going to be coming out with a Fire, Mild, and Classic that are going to be bags of tortilla chips that you can find in stores. You don't have to go to Taco Bell to get them.
Ah, that's cool.
Sounds delicious.
If you take a Diablo chip and put Diablo sauce on it, you've got Diablo squared. That sounds awesome to me.
Yeah.
And Disney is making a big announcement, which is a little eye-raising for some. They say so many people have been going to Disney, and it's getting more and more each year. In fact, Disneyland, 18.3 million people went.
Jeez.
50,000 a day on average. What they have decided to do, since so many people are going to Disney, get rid of the seating. No more benches, no more chairs. That if you want to sit down, you go to a restaurant.
Right. So they don't care anything about it. How many people they care about? They found another way to make money.
Right, exactly.
And I think it's dreadful. You got moms with kids.
Yeah.
Well, they should change their thing to Disney. the most exhausting place on earth. And let mom sit down. I say it's a backlash, and watch this. They're going to pull out of it.
And I think people are going to go to the restaurants and just refuse to buy things. Just say, this is the only place for me to sit.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. That's a balls out move, but I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they'll pull that back. That's crazy. I like it when you see places here at the bus stop. It's kind of a railing about butt high, and you can just lean against it.
Yeah.
That's so no one can sit and or sleep on it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a smart move.
Well, they said right now there are bottlenecks and there are planters. There's greenery, and they're going to take all of it away. If you want to sit down and take a break,
They're going to
go
take
to a
planters. They're going to rip the plants out.
No, they're going to put the spike. They're going to put those spikes on them
for the rubber dubs.
Yeah.
There is a terrible occurrence at the Ryder Cup. So golf. One of these golfers, Brooks Koepka, very successful
Brooks
golfer.
Koepka.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Is he one of ours or
When
one
he's
of the
finished,
Europeans?
when he's finished, he's part of Brooks and Dunn. If we're on a country station, that would have killed.
In the 90s.
And the rumors has been we might be on a country station. Hold your breath.
This woman went to the Ryder Cup. She was watching the golf tournament. She was very excited when Brooks Koepka hit a shot on the 6th hole. It went into the crowd. She has now lost sight in her eye where that golf ball hit her.
Oh.
Both eyes or just one eye? Because if she's one eye, she just joins Kansas, and we all feel like she actually got a lucky break.
Brooks Koepka obviously felt terrible.
Yeah, it's like a 3-stroke penalty.
For taking an eye on.
Blinding some lady.
Do you have to give her $1 million? Well, the eyes have it.
That's the big news of the day.
Oh, I wanna
It's
do
brought
more.
to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE, or online at Goldberg Jones. Don't forget, he'll be here tomorrow.
Rick Jones in studio tomorrow, right around 7:30 this morning. Free divorce advice or marriage advice. I don't know, but you'll be very happy that you called in. And coming up next, it's Sarah's Filthy Forecast.
It's Sarah with your filthy forecast. Oh, so big and puffy. Oh, so moist. You just waited for them to swell and engulf you. Oh, did they ever? Those rain clouds opened up and spewed out the rain.
Oh, that's why they're swollen. Jeez.
I hope you're well rested and ready for round 2, because you're going to get it again today.
Hope so.
Wet, whipping, wicked. Doesn't sound all that bad to me. Rain hand delivering it to you again this afternoon.
When she,
60 degrees.
when she hand delivers it.
More tomorrow. I don't know if I can handle another one. Will you be ready for it? Get ready for me, baby, because I've got a handy dandy forecast for you on Thursday. With the best weather front in Seattle, I'm Sarah.
Outstanding.
Oh, nice. Round of applause on today's Filthy Forecast. Hey, by the way, we don't just arouse you on the way to work. No, we give you money for nothing. And that continues right here at KZOK. Win 13 chances, or with 13 chances a day to win $1,000. Just listen for the new hourly keyword and then text that word to 200-200. Your next chance to win is coming up at 8:10 this morning. He is only 16, number 16, but he can really run fast. I'd have to work on the second part of that. Number 16, Tyler Lockett, coming in studio in the next, 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes?
Yeah, should
I'm
be here
very
next one.
excited about this.
Me
This
too.
is
I just
very
saw
cool.
him in the hall. I'm like, there's a Seahawk here. It's really exciting.
Is he gigantic?
He's a big personality, man. I'm really excited to talk to him. 8:20 this morning.
Yeah, 8:20 this morning.
Hey, experts say it is important for you to have me time.
Yeah.
Find things you enjoy doing by yourself and do them, that you shouldn't always do something with someone else.
Can we just rule out the obvious?
Yeah, I
Don't
think so.
call in 1-800-252-1025 and say, hey, I like to. We all know.
Yeah.
There's
Sing the
other
Divinyl
things you can
song.
think of. Get your mind out of the gutter.
We don't want to know how many times.
Well, I wouldn't mind just like in person if you meet me at a restaurant. Hey, 9 times or whatever. But here on a radio show, no, you call in and say some activity.
An activity.
Yeah,
Like, what
they
do
like
you
to do
like
alone.
doing by yourself?
I prefer to play only now my guitar alone because I'm terrible. If I'm strumming chords and things like that, or even practicing because that's supposed to sound like you're trying to advance.
Yeah.
But if I'm singing a song Amy would know, then she can tell how terrible I am. So I prefer to do that out on the balcony.
I like to go to the movies by myself.
Yeah, I don't mind, but I don't think I like to.
I like to because I don't want to hear someone else eating popcorn. Like, I like to go to the first movie of the day by myself when the movie theater is really quiet. I hate hearing people eat popcorn. I hate hearing people eat anyway, but hearing people like eating in a movie theater, I want focus. I want the movie and nothing else.
And it doesn't stop either. Throughout the whole movie, you're going to hear people munching away.
You know, normally when I'm unwrapping cellophane, I start to get a little, the people can hear this. But my chewing, I never really concern myself with. I don't think, oh man, I don't want people to be able to hear that. Do you chew with your mouth closed?
That's what it sounds like.
If you
Popcorn, it's just so loud and styrofoamy.
All right.
It's true.
You prefer to go to the movies without your husband because people eat.
Well, most of the time my husband would be at work anyway.
Right,
but
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. You guys listening, what is something you love doing by yourself? Let us know by calling 800-252-1025 or text in. What is something you love doing by yourself to 90627?
So experts, and experts agree because they always agree. That's what they do. That's why they're experts. They say it's important for you to have me time to find things that you enjoy doing by yourself. What is something that you love doing all by yourself? Here's the phone number, 1-800-252-1025, or you can text 90627.
Good morning to Robert in Spanaway.
Morning, Robert.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're all well. What do you got?
Man, there is nothing more liberating than slapping on your cut, firing up your Harley, and just going on a long, nice, relaxing ride. Most of the times I'll end up in like either Port Angeles or I'll shoot east on 12 to Highway 7, go through LB, and then around the mountain and then come back up.
I agree with you, but I only agree that motorcycle riding is fun by yourself because motorcycle riding with a passenger is a hassle.
Yeah.
It's just like, and she's got a comment on the weather, a comment on it's starting to drizzle. We're all unsafe. So no matter how it is, whether it's beautiful and nice out or it's just I don't want to hear her whining about being on the back of my bike. I'm with Robert, motorcycle rides.
See, I thought you guys always did that in packs. The guys would go out on a ride together.
That is also a thing, and I've enjoyed that. But I was never part of anything like that before. So for the moments that I did that, it was really fun. But I happened to tell you yesterday that I got yelled at almost all the time for how much I drank and then go and ride a motorcycle.
Because you're not supposed to do that.
Jay Leno yelled at me in public because I drank too much to get on the
you
motorcycle.
deserved it, right?
Oh, of course. I was legally drunk for sure, possibly illegally drunk. I don't know what I was up to.
Dave in Olympia, what is something you love doing by yourself?
Hey, Dave.
Well, actually, I have two, but the first one's obvious. The second one is freaking walking in the rain by myself.
Never would have thought of it, but I think you're right. Oh, I
Really?
love walking in the
Walking
rain.
in the rain?
Yeah.
Singing in the rain.
You're not from California. It's
Yeah.
such a novelty.
I am actually
that
from
Oh, you are?
yeah.
Oh, from up north, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, where civilized people live down, where it's warm all the time.
Where it doesn't rain.
Yeah, and right. So the rain comes
So it's
in
a
and everybody
novelty,
goes out and all the kids come running out and play around in it. I forgot you're from Weed, so I know what you like to do.
My consultant, what is something that you love doing by yourself?
Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Sticky Sexy Yabaduchi.
Morning.
I'm with you, sir. I like going to the movies by myself, but I also like going on vacations by myself. Like either flying or driving. I get to go wherever I want and do whatever I want, and I don't have to worry about somebody else. I like it a lot more than going with somebody else, to be honest with you.
Gives you a lot of freedom.
Yeah, see, I don't know how to do enough stuff. Like if I went to Florence, I'd have eaten 3 pieces, come back, and you just said, well, what was the Statue of David? And I'd, oh, that's what they have there. So I need a captain when I vacation. And I would not vacation alone. I know maybe this is more important years ago, but if I weren't guaranteed I'm going to meet some women at the American bar someplace, I'm not going.
Yeah.
There's got to be a girl somewhere in this trip.
You always meet people. You always talk to people.
But it takes a certain type of person who can travel on their own, and you really have to be in charge and know what you're doing.
Yeah. What about Yo calling from Olympia? What is something you love doing by yourself?
Hi again.
Morning, Yo.
Oh, I would like to say hi to Tori.
Hi,
Good
Yo.
morning. Good morning, Tori.
It got a little interesting.
At first, I was going, what the hell is happening here? Now, all I want to think about is that.
Yo took her pants off and did that.
She didn't have pants on.
You're right. I have no pants on.
See? What do you got for us, Yo, besides that?
What I love to do every morning in my car by myself while I'm driving to work is sing at the top of my lungs. I call it karaoke.
Karaoke. I like it. I like it a lot.
She's kind of lying, though, because Yo is by herself, but kind of not, because she's usually filming herself and puts it on Facebook.
Oh, but
I
she's
didn't
still
know
there
that.
by herself.
I don't go on
She's got a
Facebook. Is that what she
beautiful
does?
voice. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool, Yo.
Angled so you can't really see what she's wearing, if anything.
Right. Cool. You know what I like doing in the car all by myself?
What's that?
I like to listen to books on tape by myself. And I mean, for a long haul, like from here to Portland or here to Vancouver, I'll put in, and you'll get a good portion of a novel, hopefully that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
That's how I listened to Crazy Rich Asians, was on the way to Vancouver and around walking around Green Lake. But I prefer it by myself because I can understand more.
Yeah, just driving by yourself.
Yeah, it's good.
It's not exactly the most green-friendly thing, but you get to decide what you're going to listen to and at what volume, and nobody's hassling you about drive faster or slower. Driving by yourself is the best.
What about Don and Puyallup? What do you think is something you love doing by yourself?
Hi guys.
Hey, Don.
Don.
I love to watch playthroughs on YouTube. You can watch any video game ever made, no matter what system it is.
It's so bizarre.
On YouTube. Somebody has done a playthrough. I know I have very limited amount of video games, so.
Well, that's very good for you. If I want to learn to play a song, I click it in on my keyboard and stuff, and there's 5,000 versions of guitar teachers. Here's how you play that song in its original key, and then in A, and then in G, and stuff like that. The internet, I think, is going to work out.
Yeah, I think so.
Swear to God.
Thanks, Al Gore. Caden in Monroe, what is something you love doing by yourself?
I like working on my Jeep.
There's something that probably gives you a lot of feeling of accomplishment, but it's also zen-like.
Well, it's funny because I drive a Jeep, and I'm betting money he doesn't mean my Jeep. What Jeep do you mean?
Yeah, well, I kind of have a story if you guys kind of have the time for that.
Not at the pace you talk, bro. I mean, I love you and everything.
But probably an older Jeep.
So you would think an older Jeep, right? You stole it from the Army, right?
It's a 1970s Jeep Wagoneer Standard. I got it free from an old guy.
All right.
All right.
All right, Caden, ladies and gentlemen.
Caden.
Nicely done.
Yep.
Caden, short for cadence.
Yep. Doug in Mount Lake Terrace, what's something you love doing by yourself?
You know, I love to put miles and miles in my canoe and go camping and stuff and everything, but someone else in my canoe really throws me off.
How do you get your canoe on your roof rack?
By myself.
Really? Wow,
They're
seems
pretty
like
light nowadays, the canoes.
They're
and
awkward and
kayaks.
weird. I've tried it. I mean, it wasn't nowadays, but it was less than a decade ago, I think. And I mean, I got it up there. Yes, I could still get it up back then. And I got it onto the roof. But it's a hassle. My mother-in-law, as lovely as she is, has a permanent bruise from her kayak falling off her roof rack.
Oh, that stinks. Tony and Kapowson, something you love doing by yourself?
Well, I'll go shooting until my shoulder is getting tired of it, and then I'll go home and reload all the empty cases.
Wow, that's a thing. And you know what? I'm trying to think, because I've only gone shooting one or two times, but I was with people all the time. But that's good. I don't know that much about guns. I don't know if there was a Glock in front of me right now. I could certainly shoot it, I think. but I don't know that I could unload the clip and put another clip back in. I'm sure there's a button somewhere near the handle, like somewhere near the safety.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that anytime I've gone shooting, I've been with folks.
Paul, is that what yours? Do you love to go shooting by yourself?
I do like going shooting, but I kind of like to have somebody with me when I go shooting. But I actually prefer to watch sports alone.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
like, if you have people over at the house, you're having a little party, that's fun, but it's distracting. So if it's a game that I actually care about, I'd rather just be there alone watching the game and be focused on it.
Here's how right you are. The last game people cared about that I saw was the night I quit drinking because I took off my clothes and jumped in front of the screen, and my boss was there.
Yep.
Yep.
Tori, what's something you love doing by yourself?
Well, I like doing most things by myself, but I really like to paint by myself because I find myself judging myself harshly if I have another person there.
Right. So if you were in like a class
Yeah.
and someone comes around, they're like, "Oh, you should work on the shading here on the left." Like, you
I
don't
punch
need a
them in the
teacher.
face.
Well, try not to do that, Tori.
Tori's a very talented artist.
I did not know that. Did we know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't know it.
That's something else you can see on Facebook. Danny, you should get a Facebook page.
I don't want a Facebook page. It just screams trouble to me.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be allowed to do your Facebook alone.
Right. Totally.
Somebody would have to
You
supervise
know why not?
that.
Because on MySpace, I did MySpace alone, and that's why I can't have a Facebook. I didn't do it to her, my beautiful bride.
Yeah.
That was the
Our
problem.
relationship is untarnished. Is the ex-bride that I MySpaced.
Derek, what's something you love doing by yourself?
It's so much easier to cheat at golf when you're playing by yourself.
Very true. I'm not even sure it's called cheating then.
Thanks for the calls and texts. We've got a lot of shows still to come. The news is showing up at about 8:30. Showing up, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'm excited because Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks will be joining us next.
Tyler Lockett.
Welcome.
Hey, man.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for coming in. You're doing a couple of interesting things with CenturyLink, right?
Yes.
What is it you're doing? There's a man over here holding a big box, in his hand. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a partnership with CenturyLink, and right now we're doing a CenturyLink Boost Box, which this is the second year that we're able to do it. We did it with Doug Baldwin last year. And it's just being able to allow fans to have a great fan experience, to be able to be more a part of football than to just be able to watch it on TV. It allows them to be able to have a chance to win a lot of prizes. They have up to 8 times to be able to win it. You get home game tickets, you get sideline access, and I've signed a lot of things so that they could be able to have some signed things from me as well. And so hopefully they could tag me in it if they win.
I got to tell you, I guess you don't need my 2 cents to tell you what a good idea I think this is, but it's become so exclusive. Can you get tickets to see the Seahawks? And the answer is often no.
Yeah.
So a nice way to grab your fans and bring them right back into the fold.
Exactly.
So
I think
people are entering online for this?
Yes. So you can enter on CenturyLink.com/Seahawks, or you could just be able to keep up with my social media on Instagram and Twitter, and like it every time I post something about it.
I will. I'll like it. I'll tell you that right now. Whatever it is, I will like it.
Yeah.
Really cool. Hey, your old compadre, Cliff Averill. Do you know he works here?
Oh yeah,
Works right down the hall.
Yeah,
Man.
he interviewed me.
How'd that go?
Oh, it was interesting. He asked me a lot of questions that it was kind of tough to answer, but I was
Really?
able to give some good answers back.
Well, I'll tell you, I see him as he rolls in sometimes as I'm leaving. Do you know he rolls in a brand new Rolls Royce? The man didn't have a job till I gave him one. Down the hall at KJR doing what's middays, right?
Yeah, he's
Apparently
in
that pays a little better than KZOK, but super nice guy.
Yeah,
Are
he's a real nice dude.
Are
Do
all
we
the
want to
cats
ask
you
him
work-
what he drives?
What? No, I thought I'd leave that for him. If he wants to offer it, he can offer it.
Tyler Lockett?
No, he's got a Lamborghini
No,
or something.
I drive an Atlas. I'm with Volkswagen, so I drive an Atlas. Which I like it. There's a
very
lot of
smart.
space and everything.
Right on.
I like that. I think that went well. So now you, and this is, I have a limited capacity with all sports, but football, you return the kick is one of the things that you do, right?
Yeah.
I've heard they're thinking about eliminating people returning the kick. Is that true?
I mean, they've talked about it, but they're just trying to find ways to be able to prevent the concussions and stuff like that. A lot of them think that the concussions and the injuries that was happening in the football games occurred more so off of the kickoffs.
Right.
Because everybody's running full speed. You have
Right.
wedges
One
coming to
guy,
block 'em.
you, is running north, and 27 giant angry men are running south. It just
Yeah.
seems inherently dangerous.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why they try to find ways of, okay, let's put the ball on 35 and they could kick more touchbacks, or you know, if you take a knee, then everybody gets the ball on the 25. So they're trying to do things like that. And now they changed the rules to where you can't take off while the kicker's running to be able to kick the ball.
Right.
You got to wait, and we can't have wedges. So they're trying to find out different ways to be able to prevent the injuries. And right now I think it's working.
When I first was making any kind of stance on this, and I'm the last guy that you get to broadcast his opinion, but I got a microphone, so I'm gonna. When I first said, when I saw all these safety precautions come in, I said, you know, they're gladiators. Let them play the way they want to play. And then I started watching a little more closely. It's a full-on dangerous game. How do you feel about the rule changes to protect you? Do you like it, or do you think, no, let me play?
I think it's just pros and cons about it. Obviously, as an offensive player, you're going to like it because it protects you a lot more. And the biggest thing is, once you're done playing football, you want to make sure that you're going to be good and that you can still be able to live your life and stuff like that, because we're still human beings at the end of the day. We're not just entertainers. And I think that defensively, it kind of hurts them a little bit more, just because they can't really play the way that they want to be able to play,
Right.
which is hard. But we're just still trying to find ways to be able to protect the game and try to make it something that works out for both of us. But it's hard, like I said, because of how the injuries have been happening.
Right, they sure have, because I've seen him, man. It's amazing.
Tyler Lockett joining us in studio.
Nice guy, by the way.
He is a nice guy.
We were all scared of you. He said, oh, man, they're bringing him on the Seahawks. He's going to, oh, man, he's going to be scared. But you're the nicest guy in the whole world. We're happy to have you.
So you're the return guy, Tyler Lockett. Do you think you're the fastest on the team, or is there any competition about who is fast? And do you guys ever race before games?
Nah, but I'm sure I'm the fastest. The only
sure you're the
person that
fastest.
tried to argue with me back and forth was Paul, and I told Paul I beat him. I've raced Paul when I was in California, and he slowed up and said, "Oh, you're not ready." I said, "But I won."
Well, Paul,
Nice.
you have really let yourself go.
Yeah, not this Paul.
Different Paul?
Different Paul.
Don't
Richardson.
Don't you guys all know who's the fastest? Then you have to get timed a million times?
No, I mean, when you run a 40-yard dash, that doesn't really say much. I mean, my 40, I feel like, was more desirable and understanding because I didn't take all my time to get in the stance and stuff. I literally ran up to the line, got set, and took off running.
And
so,
it was still fast.
Yeah, everybody else, when you go places to work out, they try to teach you this 40 stance and how to be able to keep your head down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, at the end of the day, some people run great 40s. They're super fast, be able to differentiate who's just fast when it comes to being able to do the 40s and the agility drills, and who's actually going to have that same speed out there on the field.
When I was in
You're
high
the man.
school, I remember thinking I had a choice. I could run a 40 or drink a 40. And I obviously took the smarter way. What are the three guys in the world that are going to make the living that he makes doing what he does? It was, a bunch of my high school buddies, me and Kavanaugh, could drink crazy 40s back, and it became habit forming. So I think I should have chosen fast. Now, let's get back to what is the name of the box you have brought in here?
Century League Boost Box.
And how do I get one?
You got to sign up. The last chance to sign up right now is October 10th before we do it in another 2 weeks. And I can't promise that you're going to win, but you're going to have a good chance to be able to win. But I'm just looking forward to be able to see who wins. Like I said, you could do it on CenturyLink.com/Seahawks.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask next. CenturyLink.com will get me right to where I want to go.
/Seahawks. Seahawks. We're in Seahawk Nation right now.
I'm being schooled here.
Or just follow me on Twitter after this, and you'll be able to see a lot of stuff about CenturyLink and what we're trying to do.
The
He's
one they're
gonna
giving
follow
away,
you.
the one they're giving away right now is the throwback version of the Boost Box. It looks awesome, and there's going to be like throwback apparel, an exclusive dinner hosted by a Seahawks legend,
Game day tickets.
Yeah, very very cool.
A customized tablet. That's super cool.
Yeah.
The stuff we could get. So, like I said earlier, although I know you don't need my affirmation, I think it's just smart business, good for the fans. Like, because you can probably tell this. We really love you guys. It's like not a small thing. Like in Philadelphia, I worked there for 10 years. The fans were so kind of horrible that it made me not want to be a big fan of the team. They were just violent and mean. But here, your fans are wonderful, and they really love you. So I think it's great that you're doing something back from. So go to CenturyLink.com/Seahawks.
Tyler Lockett, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having
Pleasure,
me.
man. Thanks.
Well, making news this morning, Amazon announced they will be raising their minimum wage to $15 for all U.S. employees. Now, this will be all types of employees, full-time, part-time, seasonal, temporary. Everybody will get $15 an hour. They'd been criticized, Amazon, for not paying what is typically called a living wage. they're making so much money. Treat your employees better. And Jeff Bezos said, we heard you.
Well, you know who they heard? Us. Remember, we're talking about Bill Gates still be the richest man in the world, but he, unlike Bezos, gives it away. Now, if you want to stay on that path, because I like to pitch Titan rich people against each other. Now, Bill Gates gives away stuff I can't actually see. I understand somebody in Kenya is drinking some water somewhere. That's what they say. That's wonderful, Mr. Gates. But now I know, all those Amazon dudes are having they can even have a beer after work because they can afford it. So I would say the ball is in Gates' corner.
And because of us, Bezos started giving money to preschool education here in Seattle.
We are so cool.
I know.
We're great.
But that Tyler Lockett guy kind of liked us.
Yeah, he did.
That was very exciting.
Amazon had gotten a lot of bad press about how things were, the working conditions in their fulfillment centers. And so what they did maybe a month ago is they started having people tweet out, no, it's great. We love it. Really, I promise. And they were paying those people to put out on social media a message of how great it was. While other people were saying, no, I work there too, and we could really use a little bit more money or better working conditions or what have you. So it's great to see that they are responding.
I got to tell you, I saw a documentary on a middle class couple with children, but the couple themselves said that they would have no problems living on unemployment and whatever it is the government will give you to not work. They said, we can live on that. And then they watched these people get hungry and get filthy because they couldn't find shelter and stuff. And that they were grossing like $1,000 a month and couldn't even stay hygienic for it these days. By the way, that documentary was called American Dad, but I still think it worked. It was a thing. They drew him with a 5 o'clock shadow and hungry.
People who live North Sound keep getting some good information when it comes to flying out of Payne Field. People looking to fly from Everett will get some pretty good flights. We are now finding out the proposed flights from Payne Field and Everett will be Denver, Vegas, LAX, Portland, Phoenix, San Diego, San Fran, San Jose, John Wayne, and Oakland.
Oh, wow. I was going to count and say, see, that's useless. It doesn't help me at all. It does totally. That's half the places I need and or want to go.
Yeah.
Right. Last we talked, it looked like, Bozeman, Spokane were your options.
Right.
And
now,
where do they have real flights?
Where do they go now? Like, do they have...
They're like 3 flights right now.
3 flights now? Like L.A., they have one to L.A.?
Yeah, but you still, where you live in Seattle, Danny, you still want to go to SeaTac.
Right, but we're talking about Payne Field and the noise it will have on those neighborhoods. So I was just wondering, do they fly out of there now?
Yes, they do.
No, like commercial passenger flights. They do freight out of there, and they do small private planes.
I thought there were flights. I thought there were several flights out of there with passengers.
They're just starting to roll them out, and this is looking at the future.
Okay.
So 24 proposed flights out of Payne Field to 10 airports. So right now we know it's Horizon Air, SkyWest, and Southwest that will operate out of the terminal. They did lose that battle of, it's too noisy. They took a vote and lost. So
who lost?
The community.
Okay.
And the people who run Payne Field are getting these flights. The passenger terminal will open, and these additional flights will go through. The FAA has authorized all of this.
Cool.
Not cool is a baggage handler at Portland International Airport. This baggage handler is accused of stealing guns out of checked luggage. Police arrested the suspect. He is a convicted felon. Therefore, as you know, Danny, not even allowed to have a regular gun, let alone a stolen gun.
Right. No one's allowed to have a stolen gun.
No, I don't think so.
Well, he stole several guns out
Is there some kind of sticker on the bag that says there's a gun in there or something? How does he know? He's the X-ray guy?
Yeah, screening.
You do have to declare it. So
you have to declare it, right? They know that gun is there.
Right. So somebody at the, they put in the computer, there's a gun in that checked bag, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, one man says his entire bag went missing. And then when he finally did get it back, the gun was gone. And as I said, this happened several times. Eventually, detectives used bait to get him. And he is now facing several charges. He did wind up confessing to his crime.
Sardines.
Yeah, worms.
Fantastic.
Night crawlers.
Three scientists from the United States, France, and Canada have been awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for advances in laser physics, including the first woman to take home the prize in 55 years.
Yeah, what's wrong with you ladies? Try harder.
Now, this woman, let's see, how do you explain this? Optical tweezers that can grab tiny particles such as viruses without damaging them.
Yeah,
wow.
they're tools made of light.
Crazy.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
ultra sharp laser beams.
Well, no, it took 55 years to get that, but still, it's pretty amazing.
And they say a woman has gotten one in other areas, just not physics.
Oh, okay.
Physics.
That's
yeah.
better. Because I'm going, man, 55 years, Madame Curie got one, but no, that was way before. That was 1918, I think, maybe even earlier. So who's the next one?
Who is the last woman to win I haven't the faintest idea. I'm sure somebody won last year. Are you saying in physics? Because women win them all the time. Just in physics, it hasn't happened in 55 years.
I saw Paul scrambling.
Yeah, I have not yet come up with it.
It's important to her and her family, I would imagine. But yeah, Madame Curie is the only thing I can think of that won one in 1905, somewhere in there.
It's been much more recent than that, but not in physics. But in 2015, there was a woman who won a Nobel Prize in Literature. 2015, so that was the most recent.
And Southwest Airlines, a flight traveling from Chicago to Houston, had to be delayed for about an hour after a woman became enraged and allegedly used racial slurs.
Is it because she didn't win an award in physics for 55 years? Because that's cheating.
Yes, she got angry and was using horrendous racial slurs. The woman was agitated, continued to use the slurs even as she was being removed from the plane. Southwest confirmed the incident but have not commented further.
Well, there's cell phone video, isn't there?
Always is.
Always is.
Yeah.
Police in San Jose believe a 90-year-old man murdered his stepdaughter and would have gotten away for it. It wasn't for those pesky Fitbits.
Oh, no. It wasn't Scooby-Doo.
No. She was wearing a Fitbit. They were able to track her movement, track her activity. They saw that she had a heart rate spike, and using all of the Fitbit and some surveillance video, were able to track it down to her stepfather.
Wow. That's outlandish.
I had no idea. I mean, I knew that it was tracking your movement as far as distance, but I didn't know that it was tracking where you went.
A lot of them do have GPS.
That it would keep a log of where I've been.
I don't think that's what happened, is it?
Have you seen the commercial where it's the guy who's out for a run and he's running in kind of a weird zigzag, and when he gets home, he prints out his exercise, and it's a heart that he's made for his wife?
Yeah, that's cute. And also there's one that was a palm tree, and there's one that was something else. I thought it was super cute. I think what happened here is it didn't have his movements as much as it had times when her heart rate spiked and things like that, where when somebody came home, I think it's more of a time thing and an alibi thing.
And Google made big upgrades yesterday for its Maps interface. They say it will improve travel times nationwide. You can use the One-Tap Commute app, which will be added to Google Maps to display access about commuter delays. So they can provide you with information for better driving, public transportation, and even walking.
You know, when I use a professional driver, anything from a cab to an Uber or anything like that, and for the most part, they've got a GPS thing provided by something called Waze.
Yeah.
And everybody seems to love Waze. I don't have it. Do you guys have it?
I do have it. Yeah, it's just an app on my phone. Yeah, because what is happening is users are updating it. So if there's an accident or there's police activity or whatever, they're adding that.
That's how it is. I didn't
know.
know.
So in real time, it's being updated and telling you about what's going on
Pretty
right
cool.
up the road.
I'm gonna get me some Waze.
I don't know how it is that people are, typing in there was an accident.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Hope that's hands free,
Right.
Buster.
I don't know how you add to the discussion, but I just use it as from a driving standpoint.
And marriage proposals kind of have gone
stupid.
To the extreme. And one couple, this guy knew he wanted to propose to his wife. So he decided to plan this whole thing out. They flew from Texas to Denver and set out on a hike. Then he drops to one knee and proposes. Well, this was after an 8-mile hike to the summit of Jasper Peak on the Continental Divide. She said yes, but then they lost their way. They became disoriented because they hadn't acclimated to the 13,000-foot high summit,
right?
Which is crazy high. They started to get
wow, that's
sickness.
That's almost as high as Rainier.
Yeah,
and needed to be rescued. And so they were able to rescue them, severe dehydration, altitude sickness. And so when they got saved and rescued at the end, they said, so is the answer still yes? And she said, yes.
They go into the mountains, find a skeleton with a brand new ring on its finger. It's sad.
And another strange incident happening on an airplane. A man flying for his first time got up to use the bathroom, couldn't get the door open. He's like, I know this is my first time on a plane, but man, why can't I get this door open? He's pulling, and then an alarm goes off. And someone said, yo, idiot, that's the emergency exit, not the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. Man, when you got to go, you got to go.
They said it caused mass panic on the plane. People wonder, like, what would have happened? We all would have been sucked out of the airplane. We all would have died. They said there's actually such a difference in air pressure, air inside and air outside. He wouldn't have been able to get it open, and that nobody was in that much danger. But, of course, pure panic anyway.
Yeah, no, I would panic. Just there's whether he can do it or not. There's a guy that thinks opening the door is the answer to some problem he's having.
Yeah.
By the way, rescuing a plane full of people from a hijacker or killer is one of my top 12 fantasies.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, how's that going to work?
I jump him and beat him up.
Oh, okay.
We tie him up. I take my belt off and restrain his arms.
Ooh, I like
yeah,
that.
when I take my belt off, I give him a wink, make him a little nervous. It's an exciting little fantasy I got.
We've got some very cool news about Bruce Springsteen coming up in music news. A lot going on in the entertainment world. Plus, in just a few minutes, money for nothing. Yep, we are giving you 13 chances to win $1,000 every single day. $1,000 could be yours just for texting the new keyword to 200-200. You're listening for that keyword and the next chance to hear it and win 910. We have had such a busy day. Tyler Lockett from the Seahawks joined us. We had so many different giveaways and just so much fun, and it's not over. We are being joined by another set of amazing guests. Crazy Mary in the His house.
The crazy part is
Crazy Mary. Is your real name Ray? Yeah. Okay. Because what do you go by?
Satch.
Hi, Satch. Talk in your microphone when
His real name.
His real name. Sorry, because I know that you're wanted by all sorts, like the FBI and stuff. They're probably outside looking for you right now.
How did you find that out?
For by the way, for those of you who don't remember, Crazy Mary and Ray. Crazy Mary gets her. I don't know why she gets her nickname, to be honest with you, but she was driving down the street just about a year ago now, right? When
year and a half,
when a major tree, like not a kidding around tree.
April 46th.
You could build a tree house in said tree if you wanted. You could build a tree out of that house. That tree fell on her head while she was trying to drive through traffic on her way to see a Kansas show or some such crap. And so now you're all healed and you're here with us. And why are you dressed like that?
Because we got married.
Oh, man. That's
on Saturday.
You two aren't thinking about breeding, are you?
Thank you. We have a breed? What?
No, you're fine. You'll be all right.
Yeah, we have a breed.
So they got married over the weekend, and none of us were able to attend, so they thought they would bring the wedding to us. Congratulations, Crazy Mary and Satch.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks.
Congratulations.
Complete with apparently stuff from the caterer as
yeah,
well.
we brought macaroni salad.
We have her bouquet, which she saved, and macaroni salad from the wedding, which was like, how long ago was that?
It was only on Saturday.
Stop
and we
yelling
kept it,
at me, Mary.
Sorry, we kept it refrigerated. And
like you and Tori's cats, and I don't eat Tori's cats, as far as anybody knows.
All right, we've got some music news to tell you about. There was a music festival that took place over the weekend in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Oh, cool.
Performers was Social Distortion, legendary punk rock band.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. But the name Asbury Park probably rings a bell.
Yeah.
Well, Social Distortion takes to the stage singer Mike Ness. It said...
I thought he died.
Mike Ness?
Oh, that's Mike Nesmith. I'm not even sure that guy's
No,
dead.
he's not dead either.
One of the monkeys are
We
dead.
talked to him like a couple of months ago.
Well, then Davy Jones is dead.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So Mike Ness of Social Distortion gets up on stage and said, I think we're going to have someone join us. I think we're going to have a special guest play a couple songs. You guys know who it is? And they all said...
Bruce.
And was it Bruce?
Yep.
That'd be
What
weird
a
if it wasn't.
terrible introduction, though.
Yeah.
I think
Hey,
somebody's
who do you
going to
think's coming out?
It's out.
Yeah.
Somebody might join us for songs in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Bet you can't guess who it is. Terrible introduction, but you can't go wrong. So Bruce hits the stage. And
Bruce hits the stage. They performed Bad Luck, which is a Social D song. They did Ring of Fire, which was Johnny Cash, but they had covered it in the past.
Neat.
And he said at one point that Bruce Springsteen loves doing this one Social Distortion song, and then Bruce wailed on did the Social Distortion song.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Which one?
The Rising they did Bad Luck and Misery Loves Company, and they said that he just loves them. Loves Social D.
He is Bruce Springsteen is like on most people who would know such things. Top 10 guitar players. I had no idea. I heard that 10 years ago, so now I've known it. But apparently he shreds, and you just don't think of it.
Nah, I wouldn't think of it.
No, he wails. Him, the other guy that can super play is Prince.
Yep.
Yeah,
like
for
session
sure.
musician
Absolutely.
Prince. I would have never guessed that.
He's dead.
Well, yeah, he doesn't play as well now.
She's right, because I did a whole list of people that weren't dead. So
he
she got
doesn't
one
do
right.
it anymore.
It is
Crazy Mary.
it's so good that Crazy Mary is here. Otherwise, we might not know that.
Nobody would have
Right.
known that Prince was dead.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're
My
welcome, and
bladder
you're
is
slightly.
completely full, by the way.
You're dangerously close to awesome. I want you to know that.
Dangerously.
Yeah, dangerously close.
Just announce the current fullness of your bladder.
Yeah, it's pretty full. Satch went and peed down the hall, but I was like, no, we're not going to get on. So, yeah.
In case anyone listening was wondering how Mary's bladder is, you now know it is dangerously full.
Yeah, there you have it.
Dangerously.
Dangerously.
And in other news,
Nope. Well, I got a text.
Oh.
if you want to put some extra money in the bank, text that word right now to 200-200. And Crazy Mary is
Yeah,
texting.
Crazy Mary and her husband, Satchmo, are. Can they win from the studio?
Sure,
I just texted the text line.
Oh, text
Yeah, you can't. I don't think
I
you'll
just
win on
texted
that.
Danny.
Oh, man. I don't even know how this works.
And superstar recording artist and hip hop personality DJ Khaled is doubling down on his South Florida roots.
Khaled?
Oh,
What
yeah.
name is that?
His name.
He's very proud of it, too. Every single song. Well, there it was right there. He shouts it out in the beginning of pretty much every song.
Khaled.
DJ Khaled!
Well, he's doing okay because he has just purchased a new home in Miami, FLA, for just shy of $26 million.
Who is he?
He's he's a big music producer, but he was one of the judges on The Four. So you might remember him. We watched that
kind
show.
of a fat dude,
Yeah,
a
beard.
big chin.
Yeah.
I like him.
He's a cool guy.
He came to my attention, though, doing a commercial.
He's
Like-
DJ Khaled, or as he would say, DJ Khaled!
He's worked with Jay-Z, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Pitbull, Lil Wayne, Mary J. Blige, just to name a few.
So he's had a tiny bit of success.
So he's
Yeah.
doing all right.
So he
Not
bought
as much as me.
No.
He bought this house from a guy named Michael Lerner, who created the baby on board signs back in the 1980s. And making those signs
There you go.
got him so rich that he was able to buy a house that is now selling for $26 million.
Yeah, I mean, I bet a few of those signs have sold, the baby on board signs.
Oh, he invented that?
Yeah.
He trademarked that? Yeah, I'll bet he's doing just fine.
Audiences will have to wait a little bit longer to watch Robert Downey Jr. talk to animals. The Voyage of Dr. Dolittle, the latest cinematic adaptation of the children's books about a medical professional who can talk to animals, is being moved. It will now hit theaters January 17th of 2020.
Super smart move on his part, career-wise.
To go over to kid stuff?
Yeah, to do this kind of particular kid stuff because it's live action kid stuff, is it not? Yeah,
I would think so.
Sorry,
It's like
Mary's distracting me. What are you doing?
She's
Telling
waving.
Derek I love him.
We all love Derek, Mary.
So Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Eddie Murphy in the new Dr. Dolittle?
I believe this is going to have the voices
He's gonna
of
play Eddie Murphy.
Tom
He's not
Holland,
black.
Rafe Fiennes, Emma Thompson,
true.
Octavia
Bye,
Spencer,
Crazy
and
Mary.
Kumail Nanjiani. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that. Hey, who else do you know that's in Dr. Dolittle movies?
Eddie Murphy.
Danny Bonaduce.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there.
But he's not going to play Danny Bonaduce.
No, I didn't play Danny Bonaduce because I'm a paid actor, Paul. I'm a professional.
Who'd you play?
I think I played the voice of a yak.
Oh. In the
I'm
Eddie
pretty
Murphy
sure.
ones?
In the Eddie
or-
Murphy
or
ones.
in the older
Well,
ones?
no, in the Eddie Murphy ones,
Yeah.
yeah. No, the
And-
older one with Rick Harrison, that's got to be, I'm like 4 or 5 when that came out. I think.
Yeah, but you were kind of working when you were
No,
a pretty
you're
young
absolutely
kid.
right. I'm absolutely right. You're
You said
absolutely
that came out in 1945?
No, I said 65, but I'm guessing. I don't know when it came out.
Oh, he wasn't working back then.
He said he was 4 or 5.
No, I was working a little bit in 1944. I don't know if you know this. I won World War II. Maniacs.
There's a survey amongst tech workers asking what companies they would most like to work for.
Survey says Boeing.
Tech companies that they most want to work for. Silicon Valley,
Oh.
the heaviest hitters were asked, well, who do you want to work for? What's a tech company you really want to work for?
Facebook.
Big Fish.
None of you are correct.
None of you are correct. Some of you are stupid.
Netflix.
Wow. Are they a tech company?
Yeah, I mean, I answered with mine, and then I felt shame, and then you say Netflix?
Netflix.
That's not as good as Boeing.
They're an entertainment company.
Technology.
Netflix and chill.
Google came in second, Tesla at number 3, SpaceX at number 4, Airbnb at number 5, Apple at number 6.
Why are these tech companies? I don't understand
It's
at all.
used-
Do I
they
care,
use-
Paul?
I guess you have to use a computer to use them.
Oh, so then porn is a tech company.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you
that's
for
the one
this.
I want to work for.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at sports.
Sports.
Sports. Brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Up next for your Seattle Seahawks, the Los Angeles Rams, 1:25 start time on Sunday. If you missed it, Tyler Lockett was on the show earlier.
Yeah, he was.
We'll have that audio up at KZOK.com. What
Little
a
bitty dude.
Gentleman.
You
He's
know?
not the biggest.
But I was, because we were looking at all their stats for questions, and it has him at 5'11", 170. And I said if he's 5'11" and 170, he's a rail. And I don't have him as a rail, but I am a smaller than. But that must be the point. I asked him, you're running against all those guys trying to stop you, so I'm assuming it's the speed and size are helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't be that helpful when you get hit by somebody 6'5", 280.
Last night, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Denver Broncos 27-23. Mahomes still looking
It's not
awesome.
his name. It's Mahomes.
It should be Mahomes. Come on.
What's the guy from Queens of the Stone Age?
Josh.
Josh Home.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Homes going around.
Yeah. Baseball playoffs started yesterday, sort of.
Go Browns.
Kind of. Go Browns. Yeah,
Browns.
they're my favorite
You
baseball
know what I
team.
like
Browns,
about
yeah,
Mary
baby.
besides all things?
Baseball
Go
playoffs.
Tribe.
When I listen to a conversation between two people, I look at Sarah when she's talking, and I turn over here to Paul and then back. Mary looks like she's going to hurt herself. Wow! Whatever you said is the most surprising thing I ever heard. And wow, so is that. It's pretty impressive. It's
She
a
does have
sport.
a bridal veil over her face, so she has to kind of look all around.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
true.
fascinator, Paul.
It's a fascinator.
So be fascinated.
Yeah.
It's a
I
fancy
am
British.
fascinated.
All right. Where'd it
Okay.
go, Paul?
Back to
Anyway,
baseball,
go
people.
Tribe.
We had to have an extra set of games yesterday because there was a tie. So the Brewers played the Cubs and won, thus winning the division. The Dodgers beat the Rockies, thus winning the division. Therefore, the Rockies and the Cubs play their wild card today, start of baseball playoffs. 5 o'clock start time, win or go home.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, the American League wild card. Same thing, win or go home. Oakland's had a fantastic
Yeah.
season.
Go Browns.
Ever. They'll be playing the New York Yankees at 5 o'clock. Go Browns.
Go Tips.
Go Tips.
Lastly, in sports, my friends.
Thank goodness.
Basketball. Kyrie Irving apologized yesterday for his controversial comments. Last year, y'all might remember, he said, the earth is flat.
Yeah.
People blew up. People were like, what is wrong with you?
Kyrie! That's a chant from something, a movie or
Yeah, I don't
something
know what.
tribal. What is it?
Kyrie
Ky-
lives on through the Kyrie.
Kyrie. I forget what it is. All right, so anyway, he said he was sorry that the earth was flat.
He said he was sorry. He didn't realize how much of an impact his statement would make. He was just sort of saying, hey, the earth's flat. And everyone's like freaking out that the earth was flat, that he believes this.
Because it's not, right?
So which are we freaking out? That the earth is flat or that he believes the earth is
And
there
he-
are people who are serious about
Yes.
it.
Yeah, but he is apparently not one of them.
Yes.
That's good.
He said, I am a big conspiracy
I don't know, he's a
theorist.
sports guy. What do I care what he thinks?
I mean, people look up to him. People listen to him.
Well, stop that. He thinks the earth is flat.
He says he doesn't.
No.
No, he doesn't. But he
it.
believes in some other conspiracy theories.
You can look up to Russell Wilson. If you need to listen, look up to a sports guy. And then I don't know enough about sports to know decent men, but they're few and far between. So look up to Russell Wilson.
Look up to Tyler
You're
Lockett.
short enough to look up to Russell Wilson.
That's true. at
Damn,
5'8".
Girl.
That's where you shout out
Go
your name.
Cavs.
Crazy Mary.
But in the house.
Go Cavs.
Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Best Friday ever.
I was about to say what's on tomorrow's show. Say, oh, well, nothing because it's Friday. No, it's not.
Look, you've even confused the crazy. How do you feel about yourself now?
Tomorrow is Wednesday. Big show coming up at 7:50. Paul's daughter joins us.
Oh, so cute.
Jelly Bean's Joke of the Week that happens at 7:50. 7:20, we play another game of German for what?
German for what?
German for what?
I'll tell you what.
Schnitzel.
It's tickets to Oktoberfest Northwest at the Washington State Fair Event Center. That's just the tip of the iceberg, my friends.
Tips. And speaking of tips,
and
Thanks for coming in, Crazy Mary.
that's right. Rick Jones will be in here. So you have all questions about divorce. This is like serious because I can save you a bunch of money. It's almost like winning like one of our best prizes.
Yeah.
Call and say, hey man, she's leaving me. Hey man, he wants the kids. Hey, how much alimony? That's all
Hey man,
important
I just
stuff.
got married yesterday and think I need a divorce already.
We got married on Saturday.
How'd you know she was talking about you unless you're thinking about getting a divorce?
Yeah, we were yesterday.
See? Well, that always
Okay,
happens at the
today.
wedding. Anyway, lots of stuff is happening, including Steve Slaney's going to walk in this room. He's going to play a lot of classic rock for you because, we better clean up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He'll
absolutely.
retire.
He's gonna
We better
retire.
get the hell out of here.
Strippers outta here.
Steve Slayton up next. Bye.